And what is up, everyone? It is 10:07 a.m. Eastern Time here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. And you know what that means. It's time to kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy. It's time for the Digital Dash. I am your host, Javier Reyes, and for the next 3 hours, I'm going to be talking to you about all the stories, impressions, unabashed opinions, and little idiosyncrasies out there in the world of pop culture goodness, and sometimes featuring only, and I mean only, the most illustrious of guests. For today's episode, I'm going to have my arch nemesis, Mike Cavalier, call into the show to discuss the Fast and the Furious franchise, one that he just recently, out of nowhere, kind of suspiciously actually, decided to binge through. All 7 movies, not all of them, but 7 of them. I haven't seen the 8th one either, so we're both on the same page at this point. We're going to talk about that really quickly. And then after that, the main big event that I'm super excited for is my friend, the illustrious one of the most illustrious ones, the purest ones, Mr. Robert O'Connor, the former entertainment editor here at the Montclarian, is stopping by, making his epic return to do our Oscars fantasy draft. If you don't understand what I mean by that, don't worry. It's going to be awesome, and all you have to know is that I'm excited for the Oscars, and I'm excited to do this thing. We've been planning this for a while, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then lastly, my apprentice DJ, who is not here at the moment. He got into some trouble. He's running a little bit late, but it's okay. He'll be here. Me and him are just going to talk about All-Star Weekend for the NBA and Colin Kaepernick, which might make some of you upset in the sense that people have talked about Colin Kaepernick a lot, whatever side you fall on, but some news came out recently about him and his settlement agreement and all that stuff, and I just thought that'd be cool if we talked about that real quick since it's important and a big story. But before all of that, of course, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to go through the entertainment, the movie and video game news roundup in the form of the opening dash. You know what it is. It's 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, guys. You're listening to the Digital Dash. Stay tuned.
I'm Little Teapot Short.
Listening to the Digital Dash. Let's get right to it, guys. We got a lot of stories to get through. First up, in movie news, via Entertainment Weekly, Breaking Bad movie starring Aaron Paul is going to be airing on Netflix and AMC. The Breaking Bad movie that you've heard whispers about now appears to have a home, Netflix and AMC. The shrouded in mystery film that ventures back into the universe of the beloved meth drama will be seen via Netflix, the streaming service that helped break out the show to a bigger audience, and AMC, the network that launched the show and aired all 5 seasons. EW has confirmed. Deadline first reported the news. Netflix will have first rights to the movie, and whether that means that Netflix will place the movie in theaters before putting it on its streaming service is not being revealed before it goes over to AMC, which, of course, is currently the home for Breaking Bad prequel Better Call Saul. So everybody knows about Breaking Bad. It's a big story that they're doing a movie. It's starring Aaron Paul. Don't believe Bryan Cranston is in it, but I assume he's going to make an appearance somehow, one way or the other. So exciting stuff. I've watched some of Breaking Bad, and I really enjoyed what I saw, but I never finished it. And I know that this is just really interesting because from what I understand, the show kind of ended conclusively. So I'm really curious to see how that turns out for this movie. In the next bit of news, a bunch of trailers came out last week that were all pretty interesting in their own way. First of all, we had Frozen 2, the trailer for the sequel to the upcoming Disney movie, of course, that broke records of all sorts, made billions of dollars across the world and all that. The trailer was revealed. Looks really cool. I have no real thoughts on the trailer itself, except for that I'm excited. I think that Frozen has a random, not backlash, I should call it, but ever since it came out, there was kind of this counter, oh no, Frozen's actually bad type of like response to it because, like everybody thinks it's overrated. I personally think it's great. I really enjoyed the movie. I saw it a little bit later after everybody else for the aforementioned reason that I thought it was getting talked about too much. And sometimes when things are talked about too much, I start getting annoyed and then I therefore don't give it any, time of the day and whatnot, which is unfortunate. It's a flaw on my part. But I'm really excited for this one. It comes out November 22nd. First teaser for it looks interesting. I'm really excited to see what they do for it. And the next trailer that came out was something called Yesterday. For those who haven't seen this, I actually saw this on Twitter for the first time. It's basically this movie. It's starring a bunch of people. Himesh Patel making his on-screen big debut. Lily James, Kate McKinnon, Ed Sheeran, and a bunch of other people. James Corden's in the movie. Paul McCartney's in the movie as himself. And it's basically about this guy who is a struggling musician. And after this worldwide blackout occurs, for some reason, he discovers that he's the only one who's ever heard of the Beatles, as in the rock band, the Hall of Fame rock band, and that he basically becomes famous because he can sing the songs, and then he's trying to say these aren't mine, these are the Beatles, but it exists in a universe where the Beatles never happened. You know what I mean? So I'm really curious to see how this turns out. It looks fun though. I think it looks like a really good movie, and I'm excited to see how it does. In the next bit of news, Coming to America 2 was given a release date. For those who didn't know, yes, there is a Coming to America 2. Last year was the movie's 30th anniversary, and it was announced that the sequel this week would hit theaters on August 7th, 2020. Another movie that I haven't seen that I'm talking about anyway because of news and stuff. I'm excited to see what happens with this, though. I want to see the first movie first and foremost, and a lot of people tell me it's great, so I can't wait to see that. Next up, Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese, they were in the news a little bit. That's because Devil in the White City series is in the works at Hulu from the two of them. Reading from Variety.com, Hulu is developing a series based on the book The Devil in the White City, Murder, Magic, and Madness at the Fair That Changed America by Eric Larson. Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese will executive produce the project along with Stacey Sher, Rick Yorn, Emma Koskoff, and Jennifer Davison. Paramount Television will produce. The Devil in the White City tells true stories of two men, an architect and a serial killer, whose fates were forever linked by the Chicago World's Fair of 1893. Daniel H. Burnham, a brilliant and fastidious architect, architect racing to make his mark on the world, and Henry H. Holmes, a handsome and cunning doctor who fashioned his own pharmaceutical murder castle on the fairgrounds. I have no idea what I was just reading, but that is the summary of the book and whatnot. Exciting, you know what I mean? It's just bottom line is Leo and Scorsese, I think whenever they're attached to anything, it's interesting news to note. And speaking of things in development, also, a bigger thing that people are probably excited for is that the Aquaman sequel is officially in the works. Reading now from The Hollywood Reporter. Almost 2 months after opening its billion-dollar hit Aquaman, Warner Brothers is starting to put the pieces together for a sequel. The studio has tapped David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, who co-wrote the first movie, to begin penning a new installment. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. James Wan, who helmed the first movie and worked with Johnson McGoldrick on The Conjuring 2, is making a deal to return as producer, as is Peter Safran. It is unclear at this stage whether Wan would return as director. Aquaman opened in December to $67.8 million and has gone on to earn $1.12 billion globally. It is Warner Brothers' first DC movie to pass the $1 billion mark since 2012's The Dark Knight Rises. Now, a couple things. First of all, no surprise that they're making the sequel. Movie made a lot of money. I think it was only a matter of time before they greenlit the next one in the DC Extended Universe type of canon that they've got going on. And number two, I was surprised by how much money it made. My friend Cavalier, he's been on before and we talked about Aquaman. I thought it was a fine movie. I thought it was like a little bit bananas and kind of crazy, and it was like 8 different types of movies clashed into one. I thought it was fine. I thought it was entertaining and definitely better than a movie with Aquaman, which is kind of a cheesy character. I would have expected it to be, but I didn't expect it to make this much money. I was not thinking that this was going to be a $1 billion hit and make more than, say, Wonder Woman, which I thought was an excellent movie and was kind of this cultural movement for a little bit when it came out. But still, it made a lot of money. I guess people were really into it, so congrats for them, and congrats to all the Aquaman fans out there, I guess. The next thing, this is an interesting little announcement, and it's, again, reading from The Hollywood Reporter. A Wu-Tang Clan scripted drama has been ordered to series at Hulu. Hold on one second. Let me just get the thing here. The streamer has handed out a 10-episode straight-to-series order for Wu-Tang. Wow, my computer is messing up right now. Hold on one second. Order for Wu-Tang, an American Saga. The scripted drama series is based on one of hip-hop's most influential groups and is inspired by the philosophical books The Wu-Tang Manual and its sequel Tao of Wu, both written by Wu-Tang Clan frontman RZA. So yeah, this is really interesting. It's a Hall of Fame hip-hop group for sure, and that's all I really have to say about it. No real confirmation on when the series is going to be launched, but still it is coming out, and I think that's a big deal. It's really cool. Next up, just a quick little announcement reading from Collider. Chris Evans, one of my favorites, is to lead Antoine Fuqua's next movie, a sci-fi film, Infinite. Reading from Collider, Chris Evans is trading his shield for a very different kind of weapon, his mind grapes. Per Deadline, the Captain America actor is in talks to lead an adaptation of the D. Eric Micran's novel, The Reincarnation Papers, called Infinite, which revolves around a man who is haunted by memories of 2 past lives. As it turns out, there exists a centuries-old secret society of other individuals who remember their own past lives and who use their abilities to affect change throughout history. After discovering the society, the man seeks to join their ranks. Cool, I guess. Anton Fuqua, of course, well known for movies like The Magnificent Seven and, most importantly, Training Day. one of my favorite movies for sure. His next movie, a lot of people are looking forward to it, and also Chris Evans, I think, is really interesting to see where his career goes post Captain America. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And then the last two stories. First of all, just a quick thing reading from IGN. Rian Johnson has confirmed he is still working on his new Star Wars trilogy. I've mentioned this because I think he's been very silent on this matter. And when it was announced, a lot of people were surprised because a lot of people don't like The Last Jedi. A lot of people love it, but it's a controversial movie in a lot of ways. But he did confirm that he is still working on the trilogy. So that's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does. And then lastly, another report is that the Jared Leto Joker movies have been temporarily put on the shelves. For those who didn't see Suicide Squad, that is where Jared Leto's Joker made its debut. I personally didn't find too much of a problem with the Jared Leto Joker, but a lot of people really, really didn't like it. I think there was a bit of an overreaction on a lot of people's sides because I don't think he was in the movie all that much. But nevertheless, people were still kind of upset about that. So, So for now, it's on the shelves, and I guess we'll have to see what happens with the upcoming Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, which I personally am really excited for. I think it's going to be good. I really do. But yeah, guys, that I believe. Is that it for the movie news? Let's see. Let me make sure real quick. Let me just get my computer set up. Yes, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for the movie news. So we're going to take a little bit of a break, and when we get back, we're going to go through the gaming news of the week, which there was quite some cool stuff that came out this week, and some sad news in the gaming world, which I'll get to. And then my reads of the week, and then I'm going to call my friend Mike Cavalier. So stay tuned, guys. Listen to 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair. And we're back, everybody, here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. You're listening to the Digital Dash. Just went a little bit too quickly, I think. There's a lot of movie news, and since I'm trying to make sure I fit everything at the right times and stuff, and make sure I have that I'm ready for when my friend calls in, I kind of rushed through everything a little bit too much. So I'm trying to slow down. Shout out to my mom for telling me that I was going too fast. My apologies, everybody. But now, let's go through the gaming news. First up, last week, kind of announced out of nowhere that there was a Nintendo Direct that was televised. I believe it was on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Let me think. No, it was on Thursday that they had the Nintendo Direct. Was it Thursday? No, it wasn't Thursday. What day was it? Wednesday, I think. It was Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. Okay. For those who don't know, the Nintendo Direct is kind of Nintendo's personal mini E3 conferences that they put out randomly every few sort of months where they announce their upcoming projects and whatnot. And there was some cool things that happened. And they jam-packed, actually. There was 31 games that they showed off. But the biggest announcements I'm going to talk about really quickly. Wow, I feel like I was going to burp, but I didn't. That's strange. There we go. My apologies for everybody who heard that. The first thing that happened to start off the whole conference was Super Mario Maker is coming soon. I'm reading from IGN, by the way. Though many have expected a port of the Wii U's Mario Maker, Nintendo instead decided to go for a direct sequel with Super Mario Maker coming to Switch this June. The first look reveals some gameplay additions, like the ability to create slopes and the addition of Super Mario 3D World assets. But we still have unanswered questions about whether already created levels will carry over, nor what else has changed. I can imagine that they're going to let the levels carry over. Super Mario Maker was a big hit, and I think it'd be really bad PR and just look bad if they were like, oh yeah, all the things that you made in that giant game, the first Mario Maker, you just can't, they're not being ported over. You know what I mean? Little Big Planet was a series like this for PlayStation exclusive that they did port over all the levels into the sequels. For those who have heard of Little Big Planet, I don't know if you have. But yeah, that's a cool thing. They also showed off some cool things about Fire Emblem, which is a series that I'm not really familiar with, but nevertheless, they showed it, and I know a lot of people are excited. Like I said, reading from IGN, Nintendo dedicated a solid segment of the Direct to the upcoming Fire Emblem Three Houses, revealing its slightly delayed release date into July. The extended showcase also included looks at how three houses will cohabitate the game's world, and what role players will play in it. So that was one thing that happened there. And then for Smash Brothers, a little bit disappointing thing is that they didn't really show much for Smash Brothers. And since they have some unannounced characters that they're adding via DLC, it was kind of sad that they didn't really show off any new ones. But they did confirm that 3.0 update is going to be coming this spring, as well as they gave a vague little window for Joker's launch as the first DLC character and some other little amiibo details. So the Joker thing is from Persona, which is not the Joker from Batman and whatnot as a character. That would have been crazy if they had Joker in Smash Brothers. But Joker is like this person from the Persona series, which is a really popular Japanese RPG. that people love a lot, and it's a Sony type of game, which is why a lot of people were surprised when this character was announced. All my gaming friends out there know that this is kind of crazy that this character's in it. Just in general, Smash Bros. Is nuts. I can't believe we have a game where Pac-Man is fighting against Donkey Kong and Cloud from Final Fantasy and Snake from the Metal Gear Solid series. It's just ridiculous when you actually think about all the characters on display here. And pretty cool. I enjoyed the game a lot. Platinum Games' next game was revealed. It's a Switch exclusive called Astral Chain. It's coming later this year. Astral Chain takes place in a futuristic sci-fi setting, with players tackling some fearsome monsters with the use of whip-like weapons. And for those wondering, Platinum confirmed Bayonetta 3 development is still progressing. So yeah, they're the people behind Bayonetta 3, or the Bayonetta series, and a bunch of other really fast, combo-based action games. And they've been kind of on the decline lately, ever since the Bayonetta series. They haven't quite had a hit the same way the Bayonetta games and others have. People are wondering if they're going the wrong direction. They also, I believe, were behind Vanquish, which is a super underrated game for the PS3 and Xbox 360 era that I recommend people checking out. But yeah, they also revealed a couple more things to play on Switch. A bunch of remasters like Assassin's Creed 3, I believe, were showcased. And that's basically it. But the last thing that they showed off, which was the biggest thing, is that The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake is happening for this year. While Nintendo's Direct didn't cover many of the biggest 2019 games we already know about, like Animal Crossing, Pokemon, and Luigi's Mansion 3, it did debut a surprising new addition to 2019's lineup. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake ended the Direct with a bang of lightning, showcasing the new art style, Nintendo's efforts to recapture the gameplay of the original, and enough teases, and this is an IGN thing, to make someone very happy. So yeah, you could look it up, the trailer, and like a little comparison trailer of the original game versus this remake, and it looks super cute. Like, they made it super cute, the visuals of this game. I've never played Zelda Link's Awakening. I think I've played some of it, but I haven't played all of it. And I remember enjoying it a lot. I mean, Zelda's like a Hall of Fame caliber franchise for sure. There's no doubt about that. But just seeing this kind of remake being announced and seeing this cute little visual style, I think it's an awesome addition that nobody was really expecting. You know what I mean? And I love it when companies and developers have these out of nowhere left field things that just make everybody happy, especially in for Nintendo's sake. They have enough properties that they can reboot or do something cool with, I think, to tide people over until, like I said, with the Pokemon and Animal Crossing and all that stuff are eventually released. But that's enough of that. Next piece of news, a little bit of sad stuff, unfortunately. Activision Blizzard laid off hundreds of employees last week, reading from Kotaku. Publisher Activision Blizzard has begun its long-rumored layoff process, informing employees this afternoon that it will be cutting staff. On an earnings call this afternoon, the company said that it would be eliminating 8% of its staff. In 2018, Activision Blizzard had roughly 9,600 employees, which would mean nearly 800 people are now out of work. So that was confirmed, and that was unfortunate. My thoughts go out to all the people who were affected by this. It's really unfortunate. Whenever there's a layoff situation. And yeah, I was really sad to hear this. It's weird because Activision and Blizzard, they were doing really well this year. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff of what's going on there. And then the next bit of news, this is just a short little thing, is that this year's Call of Duty is going to be having a campaign mode. For those who don't know, the last Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, did not have a campaign mode. And yeah, so it's coming out. It's going to be coming out in fall. We don't know what the next Call of Duty is. But yeah, in an earnings call, basically, the president of Activision, Rob Kostic, confirmed that they're going to also have multiplayer and a campaign mode, which they didn't have for the last Call of Duty game. And also, there's also been a rumor that they're thinking of doing remasters for Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. That's been a rumor that's been out there. And they did a remaster for the original Modern Warfare that hit, I believe, a year and a half ago. It was one of the previous games that came out. It was attached with Infinite Warfare. Was it Infinite War? No, Infinite? Yeah, I think it was Call of Duty Infinite, I believe, was the one. I'm so lost on the Call of Duty series. It's unbelievable that they keep going. But yeah, that was the last thing with that. And then the last bit of news, I talked about this game over the summer. It's called Hollow Knight, and reading from Kotaku, it's getting a full sequel. What was once downloadable content has morphed into a completely new sequel. Early this morning, Australian indie developer Team Cherry announced Hollow Knight Silk Song, and it sure looks fantastic. Previously promised as DLC for the spectacular action platforming game Hollow Knight, Silk Song stars Hornet, the spear-wielding heroine, and occasional antagonist from the original. There's no word on a launch date yet, but the developers say it's set in an entirely new kingdom with many new enemies, bosses, towns, quests, and so on. It'll launch on PC, Mac, Linux, and Switch first, with Xbox One and PS4 versions to follow. So that's really exciting. I really enjoyed Hollow Knight. It was one of the And who is this? Someone out of nowhere is now appearing. Of course, it's Gabbianelli. What's up, man? What do you want?
Which one of these is on? I want to talk.
What do you want to talk about? Because my friend's calling in like a minute. Do you like read my tweets, dude?
Me?
Like, I don't think you understand that. Like, when people are gonna call in, sometimes you don't just barge in, man. What's wrong with you, man?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm just a wild card, dude. I do whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm Charlie Day from Always Sunny.
You're ridiculous. You know that.
I would wear a cowboy hat in the back of a van.
You're ridiculous.
Me?
Yeah, you're ridiculous.
Ridiculous?
I think you're ridiculous. That's what I think.
Not even the slightest, dude.
Not even the slightest, dude.
Can I get some shout outs before you get this phone call?
Yeah, sure.
Shout out to my mom, she's the best. Shout out to my dad, he's the best. Shout out to the father. Hell yeah, brother. Cheers from the radio station.
Okay. Is that it?
Shout out to you for
Thanks, man.
unlocking the door after 5 minutes of me being out there looking at you.
Well, because I'm reading.
What are you reading? What are you talking
happens
about?
when you're reading? I'm talking about video game stuff, and I was going to do my reads of the week.
What video games? What's the video game news?
You ever heard of Hollow Knight?
Yeah, I have it on Steam.
Yeah, there's a sequel that got announced.
Neat.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, right?
Play the first one then. Guess what? Did you watch that video of King K. Rool in sicko mode?
No, that sounds amazing though.
I'll have to find it on Twitter for you.
All right, send that to me. But speaking of reading, as I was just trying to do,
No, who
really
likes
quickly,
reading?
Me, I like reading. You
Shoot.
you edit a newspaper of what? How dare you?
I mean like actual book reading.
Well, I'm not talking about book reading. I'm talking about article reading.
That's
All
the
right.
same.
So first up, guys, we're now after this rude interruption by Mr. Gabbianelli, the
It's not
sports
rude.
editor
I'm illustrious.
of the Montclair newspaper.
Oh, here it is.
My reads of the week. First up, from Waypoint, Activision Blizzard reports record revenue as they bleep over 800 employees. This is by Patrick Klepek. I mentioned the Activision Blizzard layoffs before, and this piece kind of dives into what happened and how it was kind of messed up what happened with Activision and Blizzard here and what they did with their employees. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to do this anti-capitalism type of speech here. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to say that there's things in the gaming industry that I think need to be addressed, specifically in that industry. And this piece kind of alludes to that a little bit and talks about it in ways that I am not really capable of doing. So yeah, I recommend that. The next piece, new video game combats the ultimate villain, the all too familiar feeling of exhaustion. This is on the website Mental Floss by me, Javier Reyes. It's just a little thing I wrote for my internship, and I recommend checking it out. It was about this little indie game.
I found the video.
Awesome. Send it to me after.
I'll DM it to you, boy.
All right, DM it to
I'll
me.
slide into your DMs.
So yeah, I don't like plugging my own stuff all that much, but you know what? Felt like doing it this week. You know what I mean, Gabs? It's just what you got to do.
Sometimes I share some stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, sometimes you share some stuff. And then my last read of the week is What is the Place for White Rappers Today? This is from The Fader by Matthew Trammell. It is an interview with the late Mac Miller and Vince Staples that I just saw randomly floating on Twitter the other day. I never read it when it originally came out, but it's a really thought-provoking, really interesting look into that kind of culture of rap and what it exactly, the white rapper label means and stuff like that. And I really recommend checking it out. It's a good interview, and both the two of them really give some interesting insight into that subject.
I used to rap.
Did you really? That's awesome.
Drop some bars and
Drop some bars.
drop some beats.
Drop some beats.
Thick beats. That was me.
All right, but yeah, guys, that's Gabs doing all sorts of weird nonsense. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and when we get back, my friend Mike Cavalier is going to call in and talk about some stuff.
Where's Rob?
Rob? He's not here yet.
I want him here, though.
I know. He'll be here at like 11.
That's when our meeting starts.
All right, well, he's not here anymore. What do you mean?
He's always here.
I was trying to have him come on later.
He's here. My heart.
I tried to have him come on
Because
later.
he's my husband.
For the record, I tried to have him come on later, but he said he had to come now. So
Probably his work.
bam. Yeah, it's work.
Fair.
That's what it is. But yeah, guys, stay tuned. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. WMSC Upper Montclair. And now, hopefully, I think he's on right now. Let me just plug him in real quickly. Let me just make sure we got this right. Decided to just spring him into action here. You there, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect. Calling now from an undisclosed location via Skype is my arch nemesis, the master of manipulation, the what's another good nickname for you? The process truster, Mr. Mike Cavalier. How you doing, buddy?
Good to be back. Always fun to be on.
Always fun to be on. I appreciate that, man. I really do. This is so ridiculous.
I think you got a you got a couple extra listeners today. I think Danny Cav and my dad are listening from
Really?
home. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what's up? What's up, Danny Cav and Mike Senior? How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great today. I can't imagine your brother listening to this. I don't know why. Just the idea of him listening to this is just strange.
All right, so I posted on my story, my Instagram story, right?
Yeah.
And then my mom responded.
Really?
I was like, "How do I listen?" So I sent her the link, and then I guess she's at work, and I guess they don't have school today, so she sent it to Daniel and said, "You better listen."
That's hilarious. You better listen. I like this realization. It's not like this is the only time you've ever been on before. Yeah, like you've been on a bunch of times. You were on for my last show of last semester. That was fun. But yeah, man.
The entire time.
Yeah, for sure. So what I want to talk about is, believe it or not, something that I don't think anyone who knows you would expect. Is that fair to say? Like, I don't think people expected this. I know I didn't, because you just texted me and said you were watching these movies, and then it just happened.
Yeah. It was it happened quickly. I had some downtime on Thursday, Friday, and I thought, because I had seen there's the new one coming out, Hobbs and Shaw.
Right.
So I was like, I'm a big rock fan. Gearing up for his presidential run, I should probably
Right. Of course.
Should probably get in and watch all those movies. I didn't realize he didn't show up till like Fast 5, so I was sitting there like the first 4 movies, like, where is he? Like, am I watching the right
You didn't
series?
know that he wasn't. You didn't know that he wasn't in them yet.
No. I was like, wait a minute, is he in Mission Impossible? Or am I watching the right one? What's going on?
But guys, you guys couldn't tell out there, the listeners. We're talking about the Fast and Furious franchise, which is one of the more absurd things that has happened in Hollywood over the last decade. Not because they're big action movies and they've made a lot of money, but because they're big action movies that have made a lot of money.
I think that's exactly why.
I think that's exactly why. And what's funny is you just started watching these movies. Like, I remember you texted me. You're like, you know what? I'm going to watch the Fast and Furious. And it just happened. And all of a sudden, I'd say maybe a week later, you were like, okay, just finish the 6th one. And I was just like, wait, what? Like, so that means you saw the first one, Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I think it's the Fast and Furious, the one where in the cave, they're in the caves. They drive through the caves at the end. Yeah, that's how everybody remembers that movie, by the way. Whenever the people describe it, they're like, the one with the caves. That's what everybody describes it. And then Fast 5, and then Furious 6, I think it was, or what was it? Fast and Furious 6, and then Furious 7 was the 7th one. And then The Fate of the Furious was the 8th one, which both of us haven't seen, which is the hilarious part about this, is that I haven't seen that one for some reason. I don't know why. I just never got to it. I don't know. Yeah. But
that's Thursday's viewing for me.
Right, Thursday's viewing. So what made you? So you mentioned you just got hooked because you saw this Hobbs and Shaw thing, which is hilarious, by the way, that you decided that Hobbs and Shaw got you excited to watch these movies.
Right, I had seen commercials for Hobbs and Shaw, and I had some downtime. I was like, oh, do I want to like start a TV series, or maybe just like watch a movie? And then I thought, why not both and do a movie series?
Mm-hmm.
And so, which one do I want to do? And I was between Fast and Furious and Mission Impossible.
Right.
And I was like,
I campaigned for Mission Impossible. I did. I remember talking to you about this.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, you know what? I like The Rock. I'll watch Fast and Furious. And it didn't show up for 5 movies.
That's amazing. That's like if you told me to watch, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of a show. It's like if you told me to watch Community because of Donald Glover and he didn't show up for 4 seasons. That would be like the equivalent of it. I know he's in the show the entire time, but still, it's just ridiculous.
Actually, he leaves.
Yeah, and then he leaves, of course. Spoiler alert, I guess, for the Community. So because here's the thing about the Fast and the Furious. I'm glad that, because now you're part of the family, Cav. You're part of the family. You're part of the Fast and the Furious family. It's all about the cars, right? The cars, but it's really not about cars. It's about family. That's what the movies are about. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. Now, here's the thing. The first movie, first of all, if you've ever seen Point Break, like blatant ripoff of Point Break. It's an old Keanu Reeves movie. But it works, and it's fun. It's fun in its campy, cheesy kind of way, right? And then the second
Right.
one comes out with Tyrese Gibson and starring Paul Walker, R.I.P.
Yeah.
of course.
Yes.
And then that one kind of ups the ante even more and just is ridiculous. It's not about street racing. It's more about like the cartel and these evil
Right.
drug lords, right? And then the
Right,
third
exactly.
movie comes out. I don't even know what
The
that
third
movie's
movie-
about.
Okay, here's how I like in the third movie. You've seen all the Home Alone movies, right?
Yeah, Home Alone movies. I don't think I've seen all of them, but I'm pretty sure I've seen them at one point or the
Okay, there's Home Alone. I think 4
Mhm.
is just completely a new set of characters, a new storyline, like just absolutely nothing to do with the original like
Mhm.
first 3 Home Alones with Lost in New York, like new villains, and that's what this movie reminded me of. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why did this happen?
Well, that's the interesting part about that is the franchise was basically about to die at this point. That's what's so remarkable about the Fast and the Furious franchise is that at this point, when Tokyo Drift comes out, it was kind of like, okay, this thing is dead. You know what I mean? And then the fourth one comes out. Like I said, and like you were saying, like the third movie has nothing to do with the others. It's kind of ridiculous.
Or at least you think it doesn't.
Yeah, you think it does. Oh, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get
we
there
get
in just
to
a
that.
second. And then the fourth movie comes out, which is essentially like this, kind of ostensibly a reboot of the franchise. You think it's a sequel to the second movie / the first movie. It basically is. But
Right.
it's hard to explain. So we'll get into that for all the people who haven't seen these movies. I really recommend watching up to 6 at least, only for the reveal at the end of 6, which is kind of a mind-blown moment. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So then the fourth movie comes out. They get into the whole, O'Connor, like he's the traitor or whatever, and he's a cop now again, and Letty dies and all these things. And Vin Diesel's, out here doing Vin Diesel things. And that movie was fine. And everyone's like, okay, it's kind of cool that it's back. It made a decent amount of money, I believe. But then I think that the fifth movie is when things really went nuclear. And it's one of my favorite action movies ever, personally. I love this movie.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this is like
this was a movie.
This it turns into a heist series. Like the entire thing, it goes from like cars and racing to then like an absolute just like heist series.
It goes from like a neighborhood family kind of like crime movie to just the Avengers, I guess. It's really remarkable. I haven't seen these movies in a while, and just because I heard something that happens in the 8th movie, which I won't say for you, but because of what I heard happens in the 8th movie, I was just out. I just got upset. I was like, no, that doesn't happen. I'll eventually see it because it stars Charlize Theron as well, and I really like her a lot. And the fifth movie is the one where I remember seeing this with my friend. He might be listening to the show, Mr. Nick Carr. He might be listening to the show right now. And I remember we went to go see this. And now we just decided to go see a movie, basically, and, like, nonchalantly just to say, oh, yeah, go see Fast and Furious. And I walked out of that movie going, oh, my God. That was, like, the most exciting thing I've ever seen in my life. That's where The Rock makes his debut. That's where he has the great line. I mean, we have to talk off air about all the lines in this movie. Like when he says,
there's so many.
Yeah, when The Rock gets called in, who's like this super specialist FBI agent. And he gets called in, he lands there, and he's giving the orders to the people. It takes place in Brazil. And then the line from the guy is like, hey, do you need anything else for us? Do you need any more help from us? What else do you need for us to do? And he goes, yeah, stay out of my way. It's just like, oh my gosh. He's chasing after Vin Diesel on the rooftops and just completely destroys these two people of the cartel or whatever in like half a second. It's incredible. I mean, his debut in the movies, I think, I don't want to say it saved the franchise, but it added another level.
Absolutely. And even with going to Furious 7 with you had Statham in as the villain.
Oh my gosh.
You got everybody in there now.
It's everybody. Even I think is it Alec Baldwin who's in the 7th movie? I keep forgetting. It's Alec Baldwin or Kurt Russell. There we go. Kurt Russell's in the movie.
Oh yeah.
And as Mr. Nobody or whatever his name was.
Yes, Mr. Nobody. No, I'm nobody.
But
actually, I'm Mr. Nobody.
Yeah. So just for the fifth one, I really think that this is where the movies just got objectively just good. I think they became like good action movies. The first like 4, especially the third one, Tokyo Drift, they're like these cult classic type of favorite campy like cheesy action movies that people like. But then the
Also,
fifth movie comes out and
also,
it's like, oh my god.
yeah, exactly. And also, Bow Wow being in Tokyo Drift is just kind of like, wait, what? But that's also Ludacris. Just
Yeah.
like Ludacris being in this series is just hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Like,
incredible to see. It's incredible to see. And he's good at the movies. I enjoy seeing him in the movies.
it's so he appeared in the first one. I was like, is that? No, it can't be. And I was like, wait a minute, it is.
I wish I just had live reactions of your things when you saw things happen in these movies. This would have been the best thing for us to stream
Also,
over the break, honestly.
Yeah, it would have. It's also like, okay, so in the first one, Ludacris is like the neighborhood like garage, like organizes everything, organizes all the races, and then he just turns into this tech wizard for the heist. Like,
And they don't explain it.
God.
They're just like, yeah, this is what's happening now. And then you're watching the movie and you're like, sure. That's
yeah,
what's
why
so
not? That makes sense.
that's what's so interesting about Fast and Furious. To get like serious for a second, like this is a franchise that somehow has made the absurd things happening in it. Like everybody's in on it. You know what I mean? Everybody's kind of in
I was
on
like,
the
yeah, sure, why not?
yeah, everybody's like in on it. They understand that the people making these movies, they're like, hey, does this make any sense? And does like whatsoever? No, but we're just gonna do it to do it. And that's what's kind of
Yeah.
happened with it. It's kind of like the Shea Serrano of movies. You know what I mean? Where everybody's kind of in on his Twitter feed. Shout out to Shea Serrano. I know he's listening probably. And
I mean, Furious 7 was like the epitome of that. Like,
yeah,
they airdropped, they parachuted in cars directly onto a road. All right.
and don't forget when they drive a car through two buildings in order to escape
Oh,
Jason
God.
Statham with a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And like I was saying with the fifth movie, that movie brought back a bunch of characters from the first four movies, which is what a lot of people were excited about.
Right.
And it's this big heist movie, and you know I love heist movies, and I made you watch Ocean's 11 over the break too, which I love. And that movie comes out, a lot of people are excited. Then they have the ending. I remember the post credits ending of that movie, which is where they reveal that the person who died, Letty, Michelle Rodriguez's character, she's actually alive now, and that's what Fast and Furious 6 is about. And 6, again, over the top. It's basically them fighting a crew that is like them, like the Bizarro versions of them, and they're all skilled with the cars and whatnot. It's just this super insane action movie.
That's what Roman said during the movie. He's like, you guys realize what's going on? We are fighting the anti-us.
Yeah. And it's incredible. Like, it's incredible to watch. And what I love about it is also the ending sequence, which is the plane, which has been discussed ad nauseum by people on the internet, how there's no runway in the world that is long enough for that scene to have lasted. Like, I think the closest thing is like the scene would have ended in 5 minutes or something like that. It goes on, and it's incredible. The Rock and Vin Diesel are teaming up, and all these things. It's just incredible to watch. That's
an incredible scene.
Yeah, that's great. And it's really where they decide, and it's also sad because shout out Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot's character dies at that scene. Kind of just happens, which was really sad to see. She's moved on to some better things. I think it's fair to say that she's moved on to better things.
Yeah, she probably net positive.
Yeah, net positive. But then the ending. So I need your reaction, because the ending of this movie, Fast and Furious 6, in my opinion, it might be the most shocking movie theater experience I've ever had. I think it's up there. It's up there.
The post-credit scene?
Right. Because I remember seeing Tokyo Drift when I was younger and, like, barely kind of remembering it. But I do remember the scene in Tokyo Drift, which is the ending, which is Han, like, one of the main characters dies in, like, this car accident. Right. And then they open the credits, right? This is incredible. They open the credits. They're playing that Ludacris song. Like, I forgot what it was called.
Yeah.
It's just a banger and everyone's excited. And then they show you that run, that street in Tokyo Drift with the same car and everything. And I remember seeing this, like, oh my gosh, I know what this is. And then the car, you realize that it wasn't an accident. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it was this other car came in and knocked them over. And what happens? It's a callback to Tokyo Drift, right? The ending. And it reveals that Jason Statham is the brother of the bad guy from 6. Was it 6? Fast and Furious 6? Yeah. The brother of the bad guy from Fast and Furious 6. And he wants revenge. And he's the one who killed Han. So what they reveal is that old, campy, cheesy movie that was almost about to signify the end of the franchise, that Fast and Furious 4, 5, and 6 all took place before Tokyo Drift, the third movie that was released. What was your reaction?
It's like it took me a second to fully grasp what was happening, because what happens, like, you see the shot of him in the car, Jason Statham, and he's listening to a police scanner,
right?
And they're calling out the street race, and you don't know who's in the car, and all of a sudden the car just like starts barreling down the street and crashes into Han's car,
right?
And that's when you realize like what's going on. You're like, oh my god, you mean Tokyo Drift actually meant something in this franchise?
Yeah, right. It's like it actually meant something.
And then that brings you back to 3 and how, like, there's definitely a place for 3 in this franchise, but it could have been done so much better.
Yeah, I know, and there are some people who ride for Tokyo Drift. By the way, people love that movie. Like the cult fandom surrounding that movie is vapid and powerful. It really is.
Like, it's fine. It was like a fine, like, one-off, like, cheesy movie, happy ending, almost happy, but
almost
it's
happy.
just like,
and then it reveals that. Yeah. Go ahead.
3, just to put a cap on this, it probably should have been about Han. Like, Han should have been probably more the main character.
Yeah, he was like the favorite. He was one of the favorite of the Fast and Furious fandom. Everybody loved Han. And when they announced he was coming back for 5, we should have known that something was up when they had them all back. But most people assumed, kind of rightfully so, they were like, all right, we're just going to pretend that movie didn't happen. You know what I mean? We're going to pretend a bunch of these things didn't happen. We're just going to say that, hey, they're like sort of linked with each other because we want to have the excuse of bringing everybody back. Because it's been a while since Tokyo Drift came out. And and you have the 4th movie that comes out, so people are like, oh yeah, whatever, like we're fine. There's nothing about this. And then we should have known, oh no, something happened. But still, it was still shocking to see. It was the most shocking thing I think I've seen in a movie theater, at least, as an experience, since the first Iron Man, when Nick Fury, the post-credits thing, and my dad loses his mind, and he's like, I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. And my dad, like, lost it. He's like, no. He's like, they're not doing that. No, there's no way. I think everybody said the same thing. They're like, they're not doing that. There's no way. And look at us now. We're watching Rocket Raccoon movies. So then let's talk about 7, because 7 is, I don't think it's my favorite in the franchise personally is 5, and we'll get to your favorite in a little bit. But 7 was the one that I think had the most stakes, because of course this comes out after Paul Walker tragically passed away. And the movie was delayed because of that by I think a whole year for obvious reasons. And they had his brother shoot part of the scenes. Paul Walker's in some of the movie, but I know that they have his brother. They did some photo CGI stuff and they use his brother in part of the scenes, especially like the ending scene. So there's a lot of like stakes here where people are like, it's hard because you don't want to mess this up. What do you do?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because since he actually died, it's like you have to be careful if you're going to do a whole thing where you kill off the character. You got to be careful with that.
Right.
He's such an important character that you can't just say, oh, he left. You can't just do that. Like, he's the main one, like the number 2. So there was a lot of tension surrounding this movie. And in my opinion, when I first saw it, I thought the movie was a bit long. It was just as gloriously over the top. You're seeing Jason Statham and Vin Diesel have a fight at the end with like crowbars and wrenches, like a Jedi lightsaber battle. And he fights The Rock at one point and kicks him like out of a window. It's really incredible stuff. And of course they were wondering how are they going to handle the Paul Walker thing. And they did handle it. And essentially, spoiler alert, they basically have it that throughout the movie they tease the idea that he just wants to start his family life with his girl and, look after the kid and all that stuff. And then at the end of the movie, it's them driving apart. You know what I mean? This really symbolic gesture that happens. And for people who haven't seen it, of course, it is an incredible scene. What was your reaction?
I thought, the way that they like wrote him out, so to speak, I think is probably the best way they could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the ending scene when you have, See You Again playing over it, it was great. I think that was well done. And I don't know, Dom's his last words kind of ring true. It's never goodbye.
Yeah.
So I think they did that well. And the little montage they put in there, that was nice.
Yeah, they show like the whole montage with some of the other movies, and it was really well done. It was really well done. I think it was as well done as it could possibly be, given the tragedy that occurred. and it made sense. It's not like they built the whole movie subtly hinting at he needs to like leave this thing, and then of course I
Right.
think the part that got everybody choked up is when Vin Diesel's character Dom, he's like driving away, and then
Yeah.
Paul Walker pulls up to him and is like, "Hey, you thought you could leave without
Yep.
saying goodbye?" That's what I think
Yep.
gets
Yep.
everybody.
And then,
It got me a little bit, and I remember some people like kind of tears coming down their eyes after the movie. I didn't cry, of course,
Yeah.
because I'm a man, but um, I remember I was with Tyler. I saw this with Tyler when it came out because none of the rest of my friends were in on Fast and Furious for some stupid reason. I don't know why they aren't. No one, all of them, they're weird sometimes. But so it was me and Tyler. We were the only ones. And Tyler was like, "Yo, guys, come on, come with us. It's great." And we got out of the theater. I remember some people were like, "Man, this is tough, man." Like I can't do it, man. And I was like, "Yo, I feel it too, man. That was crazy." I didn't expect
Yeah.
it. I didn't expect to be that moved by a character that isn't one of my favorite characters ever at all. And this franchise
Right.
isn't necessarily one of my favorites either. But it was just a nice thing to see, I think. And that's how
Yeah.
everybody reacted to it. It was really like
Mhm.
an incredible moment.
Like the whole movie, you're wondering
Yeah, what are they gonna
whether
do?
it's in the back of your mind or you're actually thinking it throughout the whole thing. Like, how are they going to handle this?
Mhm. It was
I kept
really
waiting for it.
because like I said, the stakes were super high. You can't mess that up, or else it'd be super disrespectful.
Right.
It would kill like the franchise. Like it'd be really bad.
Yeah.
And now a lot of
Yeah.
people, the big thing that happens now, just not trying to treat it without care. I understand that what matters was someone died, but also another question is where does the franchise go after this? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they chose Fate of the Furious, which I have not seen yet, which I'm going to see soon. Now that we've talked about this, I think I've been motivated to just finally get to it. And then, of course, they have this Hobbs and Shaw spinoff, which Shaw is the Jason Statham character, and then Hobbs, of course, is the Rock's character. And
Right.
man, it looks like something else. It's amazing. This is officially like a Marvel Universe type of thing. I remember my stepsister's her husband was saying like one of two things is guaranteed to happen in the Fast and Furious movies. Number one, that John Cena will show up, that he will be in one of these movies, and number two, that they will go into space. One of those things will happen. And I honestly couldn't agree more. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if Cyborg Han, like he comes back from the dead and he's just a super driver that makes no mistakes. I would not be surprised.
Well, that's the thing. I guess. Never mind. But it's just.
Okay.
I thought I had a thought, but it does make sense.
Okay.
It's just it's just funny to see like where this franchise started, like the
Right.
storyline wise. Like the Fast and the Furious, Dom was stealing DVDs out of a truck,
Yeah.
right? And then 6 movies later, they're jumping from building to building, parachuting down from helicopters in cars,
He's fighting
working with the.
Oh my gosh. The Rock is shooting at a helicopter with a machine gun.
Yeah.
He rips off his cast, by the way, which is incredible.
Oh, he doesn't
What?
rip it off. He flexes it off.
Oh yeah, he flexes it off. That's true. Good point. So now my final 2 questions. Number 1, what was your favorite moment, do you think? If you could boil that, like what was your favorite moment? Because I know what mine was.
Man.
I think it's the safe answer, I think, is the Paul Walker tribute. But for
Right.
me personally, my favorite moment is The Rock fighting Vin Diesel. Because that was the equivalent of 2 of them are at kind of the same levels of fame at this time. Now it's obviously The Rock is infinitely bigger. But they're kind of, The Rock's coming into movies and he's becoming a more and more
Right.
big deal. And seeing the 2 of them fight was incredible. It was a great fight sequence. It was super like tough and they're getting thrown through windows. It was great. And they've been building up to it all movie and that turned out great. And I think that it's kind of the equivalent of if Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone fought around when Predator and Terminator came out and around when Rocky
Right.
came out, like that era, both of them at their peak, and they were in a movie
Yeah.
together. That's kind of the equivalent of it. So that would be my favorite moment. What about you?
I honestly, let's do my favorite movie, and then we'll come back to favorite moment because I got to think about that.
Okay, that's fair. That's
I
fair.
think my favorite movie would actually probably be Fast 5.
Okay,
Um,
it's a fair take. That's my
It's
favorite
just-
movie.
yeah, it's just that's when everything starts to come together. Like, I think that it starts to hit its stride on Fast 5, and you get The Rock, and you get Dom breaking out of prison, and you get the whole the heist, the $100 million heist, the team coming together.
Right.
And I think that kind of starts everything. You got Mia pregnant, and so I think the franchise hits its strides there with the whole team coming together, and I think just the storyline is probably one of the best in the franchise.
Mm.
And yeah, I think that's my favorite movie.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that 5 is just, it brought everything back. I think that 7 really capped everything off. You know what I mean? And speaking of which, capping off the top of the hour here now on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, talking about the Fast and Furious. I think that there's just a lot of moments in this franchise that I think it keeps going up, and I think that's rare. And another thing that's rare, I'm surprised we didn't talk about this. One of the most underrated things about this franchise, I think, is the cast is like secretly one of the most diverse I've ever seen in like movies, especially for sequels. Yeah. And it's not even alluded to, and I think that's what's most powerful. I mean, you have Michelle Rodriguez, Vin Diesel, The Rock, Paul Walker. I love how it's just then Ludacris, who, like you said, just all of a sudden becomes a tech wizard, and Tyrese Gibson and Ronda Rousey's in this movie at one point, back when she was like a really big deal. And it's just
oh my god,
it was breathtaking to see. And there's some more ones, and there's some great villains. Jason Statham, like we were talking about before, who I think might be my favorite villain, because he's just great in everything. I really appreciate everything that Vin Diesel does, and with Jason Statham in these movies, he's just absolutely incredible, and I appreciate it. Do you have any other thoughts?
To go back to 7 for 1 second, going back and like thinking about it, there's so much going on in this movie. Like they pulled off 2 heists, fought off 3 different groups of enemies, and then fought those groups of enemies off together at the end when they're trying to take down Shaw. And it's just like, what is going on? How many people are they going to fight? How many people are they going to tick off?
It's really just, it's incredible, man. And I'm glad that you finally, have entered the world. You've entered a larger world, Mr. Cavalier. You just don't know it yet. I don't know how many movies they're going to do of these. I think I've heard 9 and 10 are in the works.
Yeah.
Because, of course, why not, I guess. So, man. Any final thoughts on the Fast and Furious franchise and your random decision to binge watch all of them, or at least most of them?
I'll go back to my favorite moment, I think, or moments, I guess, were just all the family barbecues. No matter where they were, like the first one in Dom's backyard.
Yeah, that's a staple.
Exactly. Or the one when they were in, I forgot, which one was it? I think it was 5 when they're in the bunker in Rio.
Right.
And
that was great. And the song plays.
Yeah.
That was an incredible moment.
Always good.
Did you know that the one where The Rock shows up to, that part where is real? There's a joke that Tyrese Gibson makes where he's like, "Hey, you're gonna need to hide your baby oil," I think is what he says. And he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Hi, you better hide your big forehead or whatever." And that, and then Ludacris spits out like his water or whatever he was drinking. That was real. Yeah. That's like a real thing that happened where it wasn't expected. They were just goofing around on set, and then he just spit out everything, which makes it infinitely funnier.
That's hilarious.
It's great. I love the franchise, and I'm so happy that you watched it, and I can't wait for you to watch 8. And we're probably going to go see Hobbs and Shaw at midnight now.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure, man. So, right. Take care, bud. I'll text you next time, whenever you choose to come on and talk about your run for president in 2020.
All right, we'll do. Always a pleasure.
All right, see you around, bud.
See ya.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was it from Mr. Mike Cavalier. We were just really just going on a whole tangent in the Fast and Furious movies. But it is 11 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know if you knew this. Now, well, you wouldn't know this, but in the studio for a while, and very respectively so, he sat there quietly. He's been lurking in the shadows, waiting to make his return. You know who that is, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mr. Robert O'Connor, the pure one. He's back.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you? Good morning. I'm here at the new time slot.
Yeah, here at the new time slot, 10 to 1
AM.
p.m., man. I know, the AM hour. It can be tough sometimes, but
they got you on prime time radio hours.
It's tough, but it's good.
I hope
know what I mean?
Colbert's listening.
It's tough, but it's good. Oh yeah, right. That'd be great if he
One
was
of my
listening. That'd
fave
be
locals,
awesome.
him and Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, that'd be
They always
awesome.
tune in.
But guys, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we get back, we're gonna talk. We're gonna do the Oscars draft, and we'll explain the rules of what this Oscars draft is gonna be, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I'm
important.
super excited. It's very important. One of the most important things possibly in human history.
I think so.
I'd say. I think it's one of the most important for sure. So yeah, guys, stay tuned. You're listening to the Digital Dash here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. And we are back, everybody, here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. You're listening to the Digital Dash. And now, I'm being joined by two very, very illustrious guests. One, invading yet again, Mr. Anthony Gabbianelli.
Hello.
How you doing, bud?
I'm all right.
You doing good?
I'm way better now
You're way better
than I
now.
was when I first came in here.
Why is that?
Well, there's a person to my left here.
Oh, yes, that's right. To your left.
Mm-hmm.
The pure one,
That's
Mr. Robert
me.
O'Connor. How you doing, man? I'm
doing
super
well.
happy to see you back.
I am thrilled to be here, pretending I never graduated.
I mean, I think we all do that. You know what I mean? I
Well,
think we all
you
want
guys
to pretend.
haven't,
Yeah, we haven't yet.
so no
How's it been?
pretending.
How's it been?
Yeah, you know,
You're just doing your thing.
just doing my thing
You're doing your thing.
all too well.
I'm glad to hear that because now I'm going to destroy you in
Bet.
our inaugural Oscars fantasy draft.
Okay,
so,
I saw 5 movies. on
Okay,
this list.
that ain't
5.
bad.
It's way more than I thought it was
Oh, you're-
originally,
you're
but they're
just-
all the common ones.
you haven't seen all of them? I've seen. Hold on.
I've seen them all.
The most Oscar baity movie is probably Isle of Dogs. And yeah.
I saw that with Tina in the movie theater.
There's a lot more Oscar baiting than Isle of Dogs. I think. I
Yeah,
think.
if
I don't
that's
think
like-
Isle
It's
of
a Wes
Dogs.
Anderson movie.
The
and it's
most
number
the
one.
most
Number
Oscar
2,
baity thing is like Vice. Comes
No.
out in November with no, maybe not Vice, but like
The Favorite?
Roma? Oh, The Favorite's fire.
yeah, Roma. Roma might be. But to be fair, Roma has like the Netflix thing, so
True.
maybe that's a little bit different. But I don't know. Still. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain how this is going to work. Hopefully, Rob understands how it works. So, everybody's done a draft before. They know how sports work. You know, fantasy
Yeah,
drafts.
that's me.
They
Great
know how,
start.
They know how the drafts work. But basically, what we're going to be doing, me and Rob, it's me versus him, 1v1, mano y mano.
Anthony's on my side.
Anthony's on his side, so it's a 1v2. My apologies. And we're basically going to take turns drafting from each category, or at least from whatever category we choose, what we think is like the surest bet to win an award this Sunday. So essentially what that means is you can also go in any category too. That's another thing that you can do is where you can say, my first pick will be Amy Adams for supporting actress, for example.
Then you're wrong.
Yeah, I know. That's not going to be my first pick. And then what would happen is when we each construct our teams, we get as many points as we can for as many things that get right. So you're trying to not necessarily just go for Best Picture. Obviously, that's the biggest award. But you're trying to just go through the categories and see which is the most likely to win, straight up. Sometimes
got
Best
this.
Picture is a lock. Sometimes. Not rarely, but every now and then.
Not this
Sometimes Best Actor is a lock. Sometimes whatever. So we're going to put our knowledge to the test and see what we've been each researching and how much we know about the Academy. And I guess you'll hear our results next week. At least
Yeah,
I'll
I guess
say
so.
them.
I might call in. We'll
Yeah,
see.
you can maybe call in for
We'll
a second.
see how I'm feeling post Oscars.
And we decided that we were going to do each of us makes 10 picks, so a total of 20. If there's too many at one point, then I'll just stop it. But
Yeah.
like if we get too far and we're going into too deep into the weeds, I should say, then we can stop it there. But without further ado, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it.
Let's get this show on
Let's
the
get
road.
this done.
Let's get this done. So because Rob is the guest, he has the first pick.
Oh my God! So I can
Of the
pick
Oscars
anything.
fantasy draft. You can pick anything from any category. It could be a
That's
movie, it
right.
could be an actor, whatever.
all
So
right.
you go for it, miss.
Original song, "Shallow." Called it.
Yep.
Can I sing it?
I think that would be if I was doing projections.
That was good.
That was
I
pretty
have
good.
not seen Stars Born.
What?
But if I did, that probably would be the best song in the movie. And
It is.
of all the movies.
Oh, it
This
is.
year.
Sorry, Black Panther.
A Star is Born for Best Original Song. Shallow.
Yo turn.
That would probably be if we were doing projections the first overall pick. I think it is the biggest
Yeah, it's
lock
like an
probably
easy- it's an easy
in
win.
all of the Oscars.
But she's still gonna cry and be so surprised when she wins. She'll just hop on the stage sobbing, like, "Oh my God, I didn't win every award for this already." But I ain't talking smack. I love her.
Will there be like riots if they somehow don't give this
Well,
to
what a-
Shallow? Because they're already
I'll
kind of
riot.
robbing Star is Born in a lot of ways.
Well, maybe they can
they're
give it to
cutting
Mary
off.
Poppins Returns, since the guy who wrote the music gave me the tickets to the press screening. So maybe I should root for him. But nah, Lady Gaga for this one.
Not even the Black Panther song, the one that's been on the radio.
It's been on the radio
No.
for like a solid 12 months.
Yeah, it's
I'm over it.
Shallow's gonna win. Shallow's gonna win. So now, just to make sure to make sure you don't take it, because I know you probably won't take it anyway, but still,
Okay.
I think this is also pretty much a lock.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
I'm going to Best Animated Feature
Yup.
Film, and that is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which months ago I never thought that this would be a lock, but it's winning everything. People love the movie. It's one of my favorites that came out last
That's
year
one of
for
the few
sure.
I haven't seen.
It's really good. Like, it's really, really good. Shockingly good, actually, in a lot of ways. So I'm going to go for animated feature, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse with my first pick.
Okay.
So let me write that down real quick.
I don't even know what that middle one is.
Which one?
The middle one in that category.
Oh, Miyagi. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sure.
so in other words, it doesn't really
Probably
have a
like some
chance,
Japanese
unfortunately.
movie.
Also, I'm surprised Ralph Breaks the Internet was good enough to make it into this category.
I heard it was not very good.
I thought it was fine. I liked it a lot and had a fun time with it when it came out, where I was like, that was cute. I'm happy now. That was a cute little movie. Then I thought about it. I was like, it was fine. It was fine. Even the first one it's fine.
I love the first one.
Although I represent anything video game related at all times.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So Rob,
I'm gonna go
What are you thinking?
cinematography. I'm thinking.
okay,
Seems like a lot for Roma.
for Roma, yeah,
With Alfonso
Yeah.
Cuarón doing it too.
yeah, I think that's fair. I think that I'm wondering how many I don't know if Roma's gonna have a clean sweep. I don't think it's gonna do that.
No, I don't think it's gonna get. Well, I'm not gonna say in case you decide to take it.
I think that, hey man, you never know what I'm gonna do.
I know.
I'm a wild card.
You really are.
No, I'm the
And-
wild card.
Rob,
talked about this
I
already.
mean, not Rob, Anthony.
I know
You're
we're
not
the
even
same,
drafting,
but different.
Hmm?
Not,
You
nothing.
talking
Nothing.
smack, dude? I didn't hear you.
Oh my God, is your phone case green?
It is green.
That's my color.
I know.
Wow.
But yeah, I think
It's like
with my
almost-
next
it's almost perfect.
Wow.
with my
So
next pick,
insane.
I'm going with Bohemian Rhapsody for film
For
editing.
what?
No, I'm kidding. I'm going to. Yeah, I know, right? For what? I'm going to go with. Where is it? Let me find it really quickly. What was I thinking? Right. Hold on. I'm going to go for Best Adapted Screenplay,
Mm-hmm.
Black Klansman.
All right. Did you
I
see
think
that yet?
No.
It's so good.
I think that the reason this is going to happen is because. Hold on one second. I'm just trying to type everything. I wish Anthony would do that, but you know.
Hey,
What type?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not our
You know,
secretary.
you can anyway. You got your meeting in like 10 minutes, so.
this is
Best
true. But also,
Adapted.
I hate you.
That's fair reasoning. Fair reasoning. I understand. It's fine. It's fine if you hate me. I get it, man. But yeah, I think that this just feels like the vibe I'm getting from this movie is that it's good. From what I hear, you loved it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not his best movie. And you know what that means, right? It means that the Oscars,
they're
I
gonna
feel
award
like
it.
they're going to award it in some way. And I think the highest honor you can give, aside from Best Director, would be for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Honestly,
I think
I
that
don't
he
think
gets
it's
that.
gonna win Best Picture, but if it does, I wouldn't be mad.
I don't think anybody would be mad.
It's
I
very
think
like
people,
timely. And
people
it
won't
really
be mad
kind
that it won. People would be mad that the reason it probably won is because it feels like an IOU.
I guess. I mean, I watched Do the Right Thing last week again, just for
It's so,
funsies,
so
as I was
good.
falling asleep.
It's disturbingly good, that movie.
I know.
It is.
And it's still
It's one of my
still
favorites.
holds up. So yeah,
Such good taste.
what are you feeling next, Rob? Now it's your pick.
Next, I'm gonna go with my girl Glenn Close in The Wife, which I
Okay.
have not seen.
I don't think anybody has seen. Most people I
I
know,
kind of want
critics
to,
and
but
stuff,
like,
critics and stuff only just saw it recently. Like
Yeah.
the people I listen to the podcast and the things I've been reading, even they only just saw it.
just like after the Golden Globes, they were like, "Oh, I guess."
Yeah,
it's on my list.
It's really strange. I don't understand what's going on with that, but whatever, man.
She needs one.
So next up, that's
What
my
you
pick,
got?
right?
Yeah. Yo, turn.
This is where things get interesting. I think.
Yeah,
I think a
should've done some
lot.
more prep
I'm
for
there's
this.
still some likely ones I think on here,
Like,
but you know I don't want to say, man.
okay,
I don't know.
well, so much for
You
that.
probably know about everything, but I just want to make
I don't
sure.
know about that.
I think I'm gonna go with. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Just because I like to be bold, I'm gonna go with Best Director. I'm gonna take Mr. Cuarón.
Yeah,
For
it's
Roma.
a safe bet. Well, let me see who else is even up for that.
Best
Yeah.
Director.
If Yorgos Lanthimos wins for The Favorite, I'd be really happy.
That would
'cause
be a fun upset. I think that'd be a fun one.
he's
A
fun.
lot of people like The Favorite. The Favorite is like
And I love all his movies except for Alps, but that one.
The Favorite feels like this year's Lady Bird, where it's like the hipster favorite.
Oh,
that everybody
thanks.
likes.
Just because I like it.
I
Just so you know, Nana did not like The Favorite, so
Oh,
she
wow.
left the theater and then she came home and she yelled at me for telling her to go see it. So
Interesting.
that's not everybody.
Why didn't she like it?
She said it was too weird.
That's
and she
what
did
I
not like Emma Stone, which I was like, I
How
know.
dare she? Wow.
So I moved out.
Just right after she said that, you're like,
Yeah,
all right,
I
I'm
was
done
like,
here.
okay, this is it for us.
All right.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, I just picked Roma for best
Right,
director, right?
yes.
So yeah, it's your turn. See, this is where it gets interesting, I think, in a lot of ways.
So I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to go Christian Bale for Vice,
Okay.
unless it's Bradley Cooper. Now, I'm going Christian Bale. That was what my gut said. I do not think Freddie Mercury, Rami Malek is going to win.
That's fair.
But he was fine.
He is the favorite for some reason
Yeah.
right now, though. He is the favorite right now.
Right,
I think that, I don't really understand what's going on.
Did you
with
see
Bohemian
Bohemian Rhapsody?
No.
It was fine.
I'm scared.
The end was good. It ends with the Live Aid concert, which is like 20 minutes, and it
Right,
was like
okay.
fire. But the rest of it's kind of like paint by numbers, biopic territory.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that the big problem with that movie is more of the Bryan Singer
director?
stuff.
Yeah.
The director, that just looks bad in a lot
I
of ways.
agree.
So I don't know, man. That's just a really bad look.
Let's
So
see.
for my next pick, this is where it gets interesting. I think there's a lot of interesting because I want to. There's some categories here where I think Star is Born would be my pick, but it feels like that movie's gonna get swept. It feels like nothing
think
from that movie aside from Shallow. It feels like that.
Yeah.
It feels like aside from Shallow that the
Well, what
movie's
else
just
it
not gonna
got?
get anything. It got Best Picture, obviously. It got did it get adapted?
It got sound mixing. It should get some sound stuff.
Can it get some sounds?
Nah, First Man's gonna get
Yeah.
the sound stuff.
That's what I think too. Are we sure First Man? I don't know,
I
man.
don't know. I didn't see it.
There's a
It's a
lot of weird like
It's a space movie. Of course, it's gonna get best sound.
That's what I'm saying. It seems like a safe bet.
I'm gonna be a little bit risky.
Uh-oh.
I think. I'm gonna go
Alright.
for. Let me see here. No, I'm not gonna go that category yet. I'm gonna wait on that one. I'm gonna do production design.
What do you think, Jen?
I think The Favorite gets this.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna
I
do
can see
production
it.
design. The Favorite. That movie feels like. It feels like the hipster favorite, but unlike Lady Bird, I actually think it'll get
I don't know
something.
if it was shot in the actual palace that it takes place in, but it really looks like it was.
Why are you giving
I
so much
agree.
hate to Lady Bird?
Yeah, for real.
No, I'm not. I love Lady
You
Bird.
made two
Lady Bird's
comments about it being the hipster choice.
the hipster choice, as in it's not the favorite to win either, but everyone who
Oh, I see
actually
what you did there
watches
with your movie
movies.
title. You know what, Javier?
Are you
If I-
using favorite with a U?
Yeah, I am using it
If
actually.
I wasn't already leaving in 8 minutes, I'd leave now.
You know what?
upset
Fine,
him.
man.
Mhm.
Is that just what you're gonna do? You're just the hype man and also the mudslinger
I
over there.
support Rob,
Thank
and
you.
I drag you.
That
That's
works for
why I'm
me.
here.
See, ladies and gentlemen, it takes two people to take me on, as you can see. You can't face me alone. He needs help.
I
would
can't even
be-
face
I-
you because there's so
I would
many
be
monitors
fine.
in front of you.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, let me move
Yeah, I
that.
can't even see your mud.
Yeah, put the monitor back.
Fine, I don't want to see you.
you
So
do.
now
course you do.
with Rob, you've got the next pick now.
Okay.
This has been interesting.
It is interesting.
We are now on round 5.
I'm gonna go documentary feature.
Okay, thank you, because this one I'm
Um,
rooting for one in here, but
I know
don't
you're rooting
think-
for Mind the Gap,
Yeah,
which I haven't watched, but I actually really want to. It's on Hulu, so.
it's very, very good.
Free Solo might win just because it's really interesting, and apparently it's like the most intense movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going RGB just on a safe bet, just because the Supreme Court's had a time these past 12 months.
It does feel like one of those.
And
it
plus,
has
my
had
girl,
a time.
I think she's sick, which is
Yeah.
not good. So we need to support her with an Oscar.
Mhm.
Just
I
she's gonna
think
need to
it's-
stay around for a while.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it
Sons
does
of
feel like
Liberty.
one of those picks where people are gonna like, yeah, it was great, and also it feels right. It just feels right. So I think that's relatively safe. I think. Although,
think so.
like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if Free Solo gets this.
No, me neither.
I wouldn't really be surprised with that.
That's supposed to be really like innovative filmmaking.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I didn't see it. I'm not going to the IMAX theater.
Oh man, this
Okay.
is. Oh, do I go here now? Now it's my turn. Let me see. Whew. Does it win original screenplay? Green Book.
It
Does
better
Green Book-
not. I would be so mad.
Doesn't
Hold
it
on.
feel like it might though?
Tangent time. So the writer of the guy who co-wrote the screenplay for Green Book, whatever his last name is, Villa something. He is the main character in Green Book's son. So like IRL, he's writing the thing about his dad, but then also he made a bunch of tweets like in 2015 about like Muslims in 9/11, and he was kind of parenting.
Right. Yeah, yeah. This is the director.
parroting
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Trump's tweets and stuff. So that's a problem. Getting a call from someone in England because that's weird. Yeah, so if that wins, I will be mad. And plus, the screenplay was corny, and the guy Mahershala Ali's character's family came out and said,
Yeah.
nah, this isn't what happened." So if
Which
that
is-
wins, original screenplay just based on lies and all that such.
Yeah,
I
it's a
would
lot
be
of
upset.
misinformation and whatnot going on there.
It was,
Which is the thing with Mahershala Ali's character. That's why I know he's the favorite right now,
and he was good. He was like the best part of that movie.
but I'm not feeling it right now. That's one of my hottest takes. I don't think he's gonna win.
No, I think I know who's. I think
That one's weird, right? That's
I
a
think
weird
it's-
category.
I'm
Because
gonna
there's two
call that
people
one
in there
next,
that
or it's my
already
turn.
won last year. You know what I mean? You have Rockwell and Mahershala
True.
Ali, who just won, even though one of them is the favorite.
You
to
know
win
what? Is it my turn?
No, it's not.
Oh,
It's my
damn
turn.
Fine.
So, like I was saying, next category. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna go with. Well, wait, where was it? Hold on, let me find it real quick. Let me find it. I know what I was gonna pick. I forgot that for some reason. Give me 1 second. We already did that.
You were doing screenplay, weren't you?
Yes, I think I was doing screenplay. No, I changed it when you were talking, and now I forgot what I was gonna change it to.
That's on you.
I think I'm gonna go with. Let me see really quickly. Film editing.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Green Book.
Ugh.
I think Green Book takes it.
That editing in that was corny. It was just like, oh, look, we're driving around the country. Look at the map.
Yeah, I think it takes that.
All right, I'm going to go support an actor then. And I'm mixing it up. I'm going Richard E. Grant.
Really?
Yup. For Can You Ever Forgive Me? I didn't see it.
Definitely not a favorite to win.
No.
Definitely
but I think
not
he's
a
going to
favorite
pull
to
a
win.
Mark Rylance and win anyway. So remember him.
Richard? Yeah, I do remember him.
Man.
That was in.
That's the guy that made
hold on,
that song with Bruno Mars, right?
Oh, no, that's
That's Mark Ronson.
That's Mark Ronson. He's better.
Yes.
Mark Rylance is that old guy who beat Sylvester Stallone. Not like beat him up,
Yeah.
obviously, because that
Like
would
beat
work.
him for
but
Creed.
It stinks that he didn't.
Correct.
It feels like from everyone that I listened to and what it seemed like is the reason he didn't win was because he didn't thank everybody after the Golden
I heard
Globe or
that
whatever.
too, but
Which
that's
is really
silly.
messed because he was winning literally every award.
I didn't see Creed.
And then, I loved Creed. It's great.
I've never even seen Rocky.
Really.
Really?
That's kind of impressive,
Maybe I
actually, that
should.
you haven't seen that movie in a way.
Maybe I will.
I think
Probably
it's
not.
worth the watch.
So
yeah, that's what I've heard.
let's see here. I'm going to go. Yeah, why not? I'm going to go into the actor in a supporting role.
I already picked that.
I know.
Oh, we can double up?
Do you want to?
I don't care. It's your show.
I think so because I think we actually just might run out of categories potentially. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go with.
You're worried about running out of them?
3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I said 24.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that mental math.
It's just the way that this is organized is like throwing me off.
Yeah, this is better
It's just-
organized.
No, that's fine. No, I know. That's what I'm
Oh.
looking at. It's like for
Well, then I
it's
guess
like
it's not
I can't.
better.
Where's Best Picture?
Bottom,
Oh,
second
it's
row.
bottom. Okay, because like it goes like alphabetical order, but then it just doesn't. It looks like at one point. I don't
Oh,
understand.
yeah,
this.
I don't know what
You know what I mean? It's like
the
confusing.
Oscars were thinking this year with their ballot.
I'm going. This is really hard, dude. I didn't realize how hard this was going to be at this point. I'm gonna go. You know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm just gonna pick Avengers. And no, actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna do. I don't think they're gonna give that movie anything. There's no way, right?
No,
for
aren't they
visual
hosting?
effects. That's one of the things that they say that they're gonna have the Avengers cast like host the thing.
Just
I
let
don't know.
Scarlett Johansson do it. And
Yeah, they
oh
should.
my god, they should just have Scarlett and Lupita go up there.
Mm.
I'd be set.
That'd be good. That'd be
I would
good.
also be set.
Lupita, who wasn't in the last Avengers movie.
Don't remind me, Javier. I don't want to go over that story.
Is he gonna be in the? Is she gonna be in the new one?
I don't know, but she better be. Javier, you're seeing that at midnight probably. Will you let me know?
What, Endgame?
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Because if she's not, then
I'm gonna
must
do
skip
actor in a
it.
leading role, just because I want to win.
Okay.
I'm gonna take. Man. Oh my gosh! I know Rami's the choice here. I
Ugh.
know that. I don't know if my lust.
you got
My
lust for
wish.
Rami Malek.
No, my wish for Bradley Cooper
You
to
know,
win. If
some
that's
people do.
swaying my
Yeah,
decision. right
either. I mean, I'm not going to talk smack about his physical appearance, but I could.
now. I'm gonna
You'll never-
do.
I mean, like, do you want to meet him? Will you think? Like, will this come back to bite you?
Nah, he's not on the top of my list. Not even at the bottom of my list, actually.
man,
But if I
hate
met him,
this.
I'd be nice.
I hate this.
I mean, he's kind of cute.
I really hate this. What did I even pick? I'm like forgetting
Like
what I picked.
7 or 8.
Hold on.
No
I already
way.
took the
No?
favorite for production design.
No.
Sound mixing. Original
Bug him.
song. Original
What
score.
number would you give him out of 10?
Out of 10, I don't know.
I'm gonna do makeup and
let me look up
hairstyling
his
and take
name.
Vice.
Take Vice. Oh, yeah, the makeup and hairstyling was good.
Makeup and hairstyling. That just feels a little bit safer.
Made
I don't
Christian
think
Bale
anybody
fat.
saw the other
He
two
did make
movies
Christian
really.
That's the reason.
Yeah, that's why I feel like just essentially because of that, that's one of the big things that's gonna
I mean,
win.
he
for
did.
him.
I'm gonna. There we go. Yeah, he's a good 7.
What are you guys even looking at?
Rami Malek.
All right, I'm gonna go.
All right,
I'm gonna go.
Brodsky?
Yeah, the editor in chief told me to come back. So I have to
Have
listen
fun.
to her.
Tell Haley I said hi.
Thank God
love
you're
her.
finally gone. Wow. Leave.
It's my favorite.
I'm gonna go to the editors only meeting.
Right.
You know, like the thing that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
To.
That's exactly why I'm not at it. It's not just because of the show that's on for 3 hours.
Bye.
Bye, buddy. Let me just
Anthony
turn off
is
this mic
oot.
real quick. So now it's your pick, bud.
Oh, okay. Let's do it. Let's do costume design, the favorite.
I didn't pick that. Oh, I picked production design, duh.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Those are very similar.
Even though Mary Queen of Scots, I mean, you know, big period pieces with dresses and such. But I'm going favorite.
Favorite. Okay, that's fair. All right. With my next pick, because I want to be fun now. Bradley Cooper is winning Best Actor. Bradley Cooper's winning Best Actor. I don't care what anybody
You see
says.
him talking to Oprah about how he was so embarrassed not to get.
I think the Sean Penn thing that you sent me, that rose his stock.
Yeah, I think
believe
it
in
lowered
Sean
his
Penn.
stock significantly.
I think it did too.
After I read that, I went back and read Sean Penn's El Chapo Rolling Stones thing.
That was
He is pretty pretentious.
Yes, he is.
And you know what's
Very.
crazy? In the 80s, he tied Madonna up to a chair, like cut her hair, beat her for a day,
Yeah.
and we all forgot about that and gave him 2
Yeah.
Oscars.
3,
Whoopsie.
4, 5, 6. Wow, we're only in round
Montclair
6.
never forgets.
Okay. Now it's your pick, bud.
All
We have
right.
3 more each.
3 more each. Oh, hit
That's
the
what it
mic
looks
with
like.
my
Your head.
headphones.
Your noggin.
With my noggin. I should have been keeping track of what we put on here. Did we do original score yet?
Original score? No, we did
Okay.
not. No, we did not.
So, it'll probably go to Black Panther.
Are we sure?
No, but I'm gonna go with Beale Street to Talk.
That's a nice pick. I like
Yeah,
that one.
the
I
score
like
on that is just really, it's really, really nice. And that movie didn't really get much, but I like that movie.
I think I didn't realize that his next movie would be coming out so soon. Barry
Surprise.
Jenkins. Like it just
He
kind
did
of
pull
was
a Steve
announced, and I was
McQueen
like,
and waited
oh,
5 years.
yeah. I thought he was gonna wait like a little bit longer, or whatever. Because I know I think he's working on the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad thing.
Hey, I think I saw
Or
a
is that
picture.
Jordan Peele? No, that's not
no,
Jordan
Jordan Peele. He's done
Jordan
enough going
Peele's-
on.
Yeah, he's got enough going on. Beale
I
Street
saw a picture
for
of that.
original score. That's fair. That's fair.
Listen to the score. It's good.
I'm gonna go now for. See, what's interesting about visual effects is I think this feels like it's First Man or Avengers. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I don't see Christopher Robin winning.
I don't
Ready
see
Player
Christopher
One,
Robin.
you saw, I did not. And the same thing
Yeah.
with Solo, I assume.
Yeah, Solo was fine. I don't think it wins for visual effects though.
Yeah.
I mean, Avengers
I only saw one.
secretly looks kind of ugly at points. They make these 4 alien characters, the
Peter Dinklage.
the 4 horsemen people. No, not Peter Dinklage's characters. Those like alien people that serve him.
Oh yeah.
The one with the swords and all that. Like they kind of look like World of Warcraft villains. It's kind of like disturbing. I'm like, this is fine.
If you
These
say so.
people just appear out of nowhere. So I'm not gonna go there.
Then what are
Instead,
you gonna go?
I think I'm just I don't like this pick for me because I really just hate choosing this category every year. But I think we're gonna get a thing like last year where this thing might just clean up, and I'm gonna do Best Picture for Roma.
All right, I can see that happening. Did you? You haven't even seen it though, have you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good.
I liked it.
That was sad.
I didn't love it, but
It was,
I
like, super
appreciated
slow.
it. I appreciate it for what it was. I just don't think that we should always award movies that are going to be taught in film schools. I think that sometimes it's important to. I don't think that it's this slam dunk. I think that's what I mean by it. I don't think that it's this
yeah,
slam
I know
dunk
a lot
thing.
of people didn't love it.
I think it's one of those movies that if people say they come to me and they were like, I love that movie, I'd be like, I get it. And then if they were like, I really didn't like that, it was slow, and I'd be like, I get that too.
I get that too, but I still judge them when they say that.
I have to admit though, there's a couple shots from that movie that still stick in my head,
Yeah.
and it's not the most like the
That's
memorable
why I gave it
ones. with the-
cinematography.
Yeah, it's not the memorable like big moments in the movie. It for me the most memorable shot was the forest fire thing that happens,
was
and
cool.
when the guy's like, I think he's singing or something like that at one point, and they just have like this close up of him and then the fire behind. That's the most memorable
There
shot
was
for me. In the entire
one,
movie.
and it's just I don't remember what they were doing. They were all like on a field, and it just kind of slowly like pans, and you can just see like how crazy the depth of field is, and you can like see
Yeah.
all the way the horizon, and the people
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like chilling over there. It was just like crazy.
There's some really awesome shots in that
But-
movie for sure.
Like that's the kind of movie where you need to do like homework with it and read a couple articles about what was going on in Mexico at the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
to really get it.
Right.
But that's kind of cool, you know. I like how it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's not
doesn't
so
have to
much about
baby
these
people.
big like cultural events that are happening,
Mhm.
but about like how these crazy things affect like this small little family.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I
It's-
think is
it's
more
cool.
interesting than just like here's a movie about the student revolution in Mexico in the 70s, but this is like
Mhm.
looking at it through a different lens, which I respect.
Yeah, I thought it was effective in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
I agree. But if Black Panther wins, that'd be crazy.
Black Panther
People would be
winning-
so mad.
Would they be mad?
Yeah, they would.
I think
Have you ever
people
gone on
would be
Reddit?
happy, but then I think that the movie people would be really upset. They were upset when it got nominated.
Yeah.
Everyone, hey, I love the nerd world and stuff. People are having some bad takes. When that was announced that it was in Best Picture, everybody was like, Infinity War is better.
Yeah.
Super overrated. I'm like, guys, I loved Infinity War. I love Marvel.
But did
It
Infinity
was
War
not
have
better.
Lupita?
Yeah, did Infinity War have Lupita Nyong'o in it? No.
It didn't.
Also, there's a lot of flaws with that movie. I love Infinity War. It's a lot of fun.
I liked
I might
Infinity
end
War.
up watching that movie more than Black Panther over the course of my life. But also, no, it's not better than Black Panther. What are we doing?
No.
Guys, stop. It's not overrated. It's really good. There is
It's correctly
some...
rated.
I have seen some critics who I can see an
What, like
agenda,
the
though.
Rhino? Oh.
I can see it, like, where they give every single Marvel movie an F, but then all of a sudden this one got an A+. It's just, if you go from bottom of the barrel to the best movie of the year, I just have some questions about why you're reviewing it that way. But that's, I don't want to out any names for people that I follow.
It's loyal of you.
The guy from IndieWire. I forgot his name.
love IndieWire.
Ben Ulrich, is that
Hire
his name?
me.
What is his name? The IndieWire guy.
IndieWire, if you're listening, just hire me.
They're really good, though.
They are
You
good.
guys should hire Rob. He's really great.
Thanks.
So,
Is it my turn?
yeah, it is.
All right.
I forgot that it was your turn.
All right, I'm going to go foreign language, but I'm going to mix it up.
Really?
I don't think Roma's probably going to win. But since I also think Roma's going to win Best Picture, I think I'm going to... Shoplifters, I hear really amazing things about. It's like this Japanese movie that I really
I've
do
heard
want
good
to
things
see.
about that, too.
And also Cold War is supposed to be really good, and I'm going to
I've
give
heard
it
good
to
about
Cold
that.
War. Because that's directed by the
Okay.
same guy who did that movie Ida, which I never saw, but that won foreign film a couple years ago. So
Cold War, foreign language.
I want to see
Film.
that.
Interesting. I do, too. When I have the time. Let me see here.
See.
Oh, my gosh. Original screenplay is a mess, dude.
First Reformed is not going
I
to
know.
win, but it's an
From what I've heard,
interesting
that's
screenplay.
easily the best one out of all these.
And the favorite screenplay is the one that wasn't written. It's the one screenplay that the director has directed that he didn't write himself. So, I mean, the screenplays. So that's interesting. I would rather he had won for something like The Lobster a couple years ago that was really inventive that he wrote. And then, what's his face? Adam McKay won Best Screenplay for Big Short a couple years ago. And the Vice screenplay isn't all that good. It has too many narrative tricks in it for me that are just kind of like, too many
People are
flourishes.
mixed on that movie.
I didn't
People
love
are
it.
mixed
It
on
was
that
fine.
movie. I was going to see it, and something happened. I remember literally, like, my friends and I, we had tickets set up. Something happened. I forgot what happened over break. There was something that happened. We were going to see it, but whatever.
It was fine.
I'm going to do some strategy here. I'm going to take actor, best actor. I'm going to take Rami Malek to ensure myself.
Didn't you already take Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
All right.
So if I get this wrong, I just wasted 2 picks. But whatever.
True.
Whatever.
I'm right.
I want to shirt up because you picked what's his
What did I
face.
pick? Christian Bale?
You could pick Christian Bale. That was. Oh,
That's like
man.
the Gary
I should have
Oldman
taken
pick.
him earlier.
Sorry.
I should have taken him instead of Bester. I don't know actually. That was because I don't know why Rami's like this clear ahead favorite right
I don't
now.
know. I mean,
It's a little bit weird.
I don't even think he did his own singing, which is whatever. No one can sing like Freddie Mercury, but I don't think he really had any crazy like emotional moments in it.
Yeah, and you know who did? Bradley Cooper. That's right.
Yeah.
Do the right thing, guys. We're gonna remember he had to adapt a movie that's been done before. He had to learn how to play a guitar. He had to learn the accent. He has to sing.
He didn't have to learn the accent. He just had to talk to Sam O'Neill and
All
he
right.
just, or Sam
All
Elliott,
right.
and he just stole his
My
voice.
bad. He didn't have to learn. You know what I mean? Yeah, he did kind of. But
Yeah.
still, bottom line, he's doing so many things in that movie. I'm so upset.
So
Anyway, go ahead.
actually, this is just a tangent. The other
Yeah,
day,
go
I
ahead.
was hanging out with my friend Issa, and she was saying how she watched Star Is Born, but she was watching it with her family, and this blew my mind. But they turned it off with 20 minutes left because it was 4 a.m. So I had to be the bearer of bad news and tell her how that movie ends, and then we watched the rest of it on YouTube, and she was emotional. But that's my friend who cried in Pitch Perfect 2, so she'll cry in anything. That'll love her.
Pitch Perfect too. That's a great story
Just
for a
little-
movie
just-
that you cried
Just
during.
a little tangent.
I like it. All right. So me, after doing back-to-back, no, almost back-to-back Best Actor choices. Now it's your turn, Rob.
Okay.
Go for it.
We have used up all the good ones.
Yeah, we've.
All right, I'll go Regina King, supporting
Yeah.
actress.
That's the one I was choosing between.
I didn't think she was amazing. I didn't think she was like. Well, she was pretty good.
Yeah, I should have taken that instead
But
of Rami.
if Amy Adams wins for Vice, that would be silly. 'Cause, I mean, she was good in it, but of all the things she's done, this shouldn't be the one that we award.
But that's where my thing comes in. She's been nominated a lot. She's in Leo territory.
yeah,
Where
she
she's
is.
been nominated so many times without
But
a win.
I feel like maybe the next movie she does, she can get it, but not for this. She
Yeah,
deserves
it
lead.
doesn't feel like it, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. It feels like people are like, oh, yeah, she was in that, by the way. Put her in there.
Well, like,
I
all right,
think
we'll
you
give
have
her
to
one.
be oh, yeah, she was great in that in order for it to somewhat be
Yeah.
there, I think. But if it happened, I wouldn't be totally shocked. I don't think. I think. What do you think is like the most shocking thing
Like
to
nomination.
win? No, like to win. Like, what do you think is one of the most shocking things that could happen?
If the actress from Roma, Yalitza,
Like a good shock.
that would be crazy.
That would be a good shock, I think.
Yalitza
Yalitza Aparicio?
Yeah, something like that. What? I feel like I think Black Panther would be the craziest thing if it won Best Picture.
Yeah, that's because that sets the internet on fire, probably.
Yeah,
For it to be the first
people would
comic
have
book movie to be
opinions.
nominated, and then also, well, I mean, Logan last year for adapted screenplay.
I mean,
but
I wish I was more conscious in like 2003 to find out what happened when like Lord of the Rings, the third one, won. And see
Yeah.
how the world felt.
that might be the most popular movie that ever won the Oscars, right?
Maybe.
And the only like genre nerd fantasy movie that I can think of.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Just like early 2000s, they had like the whole swords and sandals thing where they did like
yeah,
Gladiator and then like
Gladiator for sure, but Gladiator I don't think was Lord of the Rings. Though.
No, true.
Lord of the Rings was like, wow, we're really deep in the nerdy like Dungeons and Dragons, like people who only dwell in their basement.
Yeah.
That's the stereotype type of thing.
True.
But yeah, my next pick. Let me see here. We are in. Hold on. Let me see what round we're in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Count.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh
Are we
my,
on
we're
10?
wrapping
Is this
up.
it?
Is this it?
I think this might be it. Hold on. 1,
right.
2, 3, 4.
Let me make a
5,
wise
6,
choice.
7, 8, 9. Wow. Yeah, this is my last pick. Or you want to do 11 picks?
We'll do
we
11
didn't
just
know.
for fun.
Yeah, just because we didn't know that this was the last one. So this is my second to last pick. I'm going to go with. Let me see here. What have I picked? Just want to make sure.
I'm skipping the short subject ones and short films.
Yeah,
I have not done my research on those.
I think.
Even though they're playing at the theater in Montclair, but who has time?
I took Cuarón, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I took Cuarón. Let me see what we have here. Actress in a supporting role, actress in a leading role. And you took Glenn Close, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you locked that up. I'm going to do actor in a supporting role.
Okay.
And I think I'm going, man, I do not like the Mahershala Ali thing.
Still, he was the best part of Green Book. I can admit
I know,
that
but
readily.
it just feels like you know what I mean? It feels
Yeah.
like the thing behind it. And the fact that I think people are forgetting that he won last year.
He won
I feel
like
like it's
2
rare.
years ago, I think.
Oh, yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm
because
sorry.
last year was 3 Billboards. Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell just won last year. My mistake. That's who it was. Sam Elliott feels like the pick where
No
if
way.
let me explain. If Sam Elliott wins, it feels like that's the only thing Star is Born gets.
Sam Elliott, I mean,
That
he's
would be
fine.
that would be the thing where they're like, okay, we'll give. Yeah, he was fine. Like I thought he was good, and it was kind of fun to see him on there. I think Adam Driver. The problem with him winning would be if
he was
that's
the
the
only white
thing.
person.
If he's the only
Well,
white person,
not
that's
the only white person,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
If that's like the only thing that wins for Black Klansman, then I think it would be a problem.
Oddly enough, Topher Grace was really good in that movie. And he
I
was
heard.
David Duke, the leader
Eddie
of the Ku
Brock,
Klux
Eddie
Klan.
Brock from
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3.
Also, Eric Foreman from That 70s Show.
Yes. And a couple other things that I'm forgetting right now.
Yeah, he's probably done some
He's a
things. He was in like
weird-
Predator.
Yeah, he was in like I don't know.
Not the one with the Predator from last year, though.
I'm gonna go with. Oh, I hate this so much.
Don't hate it.
I hate this so much. Oh my gosh. I think I'm gonna do Mahershala.
All right.
I like Mahershala Ali, so I'm just gonna do that. Mahershala Ali Green Book.
Man, what did
All
I
right, so
not
now
pick
round
up?
11, our
Okay,
last
this
picks.
is it for me.
This is it.
Okay. Did you pick editing yet?
Which film editing?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Or no, you did production design, right?
I think I might have done film editing. Give me 1 second though.
I
Film
need to
editing,
know.
film editing, film editing. Green Book? Yeah, I did Green
Oh,
Book
that's
for
right. You're
film
whack.
editing. I am whack, but I feel like it wins that. There's always a why are we doing this?
No,
one?
I think
You know what
Vice is going to get editing.
You think so?
It had a lot of
Okay.
weird kind of, like I said, like flourishes that I didn't think worked, but there were a lot of them that kind of fit into the movie.
Yeah,
so.
they don't always have to work to win the Oscar.
Yeah.
Sometimes, just this is a random one, like My Basketball Story, or
Is
whatever.
that
from
the Kobe
Bryant,
Bryant one that won?
which apparently
after he
everyone
got
I've
times
talked
up?
to- yeah, for years after he got times up. But apparently from everyone, they say it's like really bad, and he had all the support in the
Yeah,
world
but
behind
if he just
him.
like
and
do
it
one
looks
hell of a
cool,
heck
like
of a campaign.
the visuals look cool, and it's just not really not a good movie. And all these people that spent years on these things, they just get upsurged by Kobe Bryant because he hired a bunch of people who know what they're
Yeah.
doing. Like John Williams did the soundtrack, I'm pretty sure. For
Maybe
that.
I will watch Minding the Gap tonight.
I'd
We'll
love
see.
if that one. That would be my favorite thing.
I
to
heard
win,
it's
think.
very emotional.
Yes, it's about adolescence.
My favorite time.
So wait, did you pick for? Are you picking Vice for film editing?
Yeah,
Okay, Vice, film.
I think that'll be like the one award it wins.
I think it could win more than that. I don't know. See, this is what's great about the Oscars. It's about what I mean, 2 years ago, we thought La La Land was going to win everything.
True. I had a feeling it was going to be Moonlight. It was on my ballot.
You sure? Really?
Really, yo?
You picked Moonlight? Wow. Congrats to you. I was
I'm a
expecting, like, yeah, La La
soothsayer.
Land felt like.
I mean, I love
too
La La
safe.
Land.
I
Do
like it too.
not get me wrong.
I think for my last pick, though, man, I hate this.
Pick La La Land.
I think for my last pick, just because. Wait, did anyone did we do sound editing?
No, I didn't. I don't know enough about that.
Yeah, me
But
either.
you're a
I don't know
radio
enough
guy,
about.
so-
Yeah, but still, I don't know how the Oscars operate with that stuff. Because First Man seems like something that should win both of those. Where that movie got kind of forgotten because
True, I mean,
somehow
I didn't see
Venom
it.
upsieged it or whatever.
And that's
People,
directed by
forgot
the guy
about
from
it.
La La Land, so
I know.
good tangent.
I
Good
think.
connection.
See, I'm wondering if I should just be on brand and take visual effects for Avengers, just because.
I feel like you should.
Should I just stay on brand?
I mean, you thought about it and you talked yourself out of it, but talk
I
yourself
thought
back
about it,
into
talked myself out of it, then talked myself back in, and now I'm about to make my decision. See, the question is, do I just want to do it for the bit, or do I want to win?
I mean, what else is going to win? First Man?
My thing, I think the sound editing and sound mixing categories.
True.
You know, let me think for a little bit. And you just go on a tangent.
Okay. Let's see. What can I
'Cause you look like you're
talk
prepared.
about?
You look like you've been holding something.
Sure. Let's see. What is a tangent that I can go on at this moment?
I'm really thinking about this.
Let's see. Well, yeah, I'll just talk a little bit more about the whole Bryan Singer thing, if you want.
Yeah, explain to people why the Bohemian Rhapsody and Green Book are like that.
So Bryan Singer is the
thing.
director of Bohemian Rhapsody, and he's known for like doing all the original X-Men movies and stuff. I think X-Men, X2, not The Last Stand or the first Jennifer Lawrence one. I think Days of Future Past. So he's been doing a bunch of like the superhero movies and stuff. He's like one of the few out gay directors in Hollywood. So you're
he brought
probably
the
like,
X-Men,
oh,
yeah, that's
you'll
right.
support him. No, he does shady things. He's kind
By
of.
the way, I decided. By the way,
Okay.
gotta stay on brand. I'm taking Infinity
all
War.
right, you go for that.
visual
I feel like
effects.
I probably shouldn't be talking about the alleged
But here's the thing: is
Bryan Singer things because I have not watched the documentary yet, but I'm gonna look up
Right.
what it's called and let everybody.
I
know.
think here's the problem with this.
Uh-huh.
The problem with the Bryan Singer thing is, yeah, they are allegations. Like we
But
have
there,
to be.
There
we
have
have-
been allegations for
there's
like
been
a while,
a lot of them though.
and they made a full documentary based on
Right.
the allegations called "An Open Secret," which came out in
He's-
2014.
Do you think it's a good comparison to be like the R. Kelly of movies right now? I don't know. No, I don't think it's R.
don't
Kelly
think
because
so.
R. Kelly's like
R. Kelly's a whole
a little
nother
bit.
level of
I think that
problematic.
but like in terms of just
Maybe-
this secret that people have known for a while, kind of, it feels like that, where people have been talking about the Bryan Singer thing for a while, and because
True.
it's happened with, back in the 2000s and the like 2012 and stuff like that, and I think previous like in the 90s, stuff like that. So it's been like every arc of his career, every point of his career, there's been at least a little bit of something surrounding him. And I think the biggest problem with this is, again, they're allegations, of course. We have to make that clear.
Uh-huh.
I think the big problem is the Academy gets on stage and is always saying, moving forward, and we're not going to tolerate things anymore. But then, here's Bohemian Rhapsody, out of nowhere, really,
Yeah.
before the Golden Globes happen, going to win for Best Drama, when it has this really problematic director behind it. And
And then
Green
they-
Book, which is super problematic, and minorities, a lot of them, when it comes to how they're portrayed in that movie, from what I've heard. And there's like a chicken wing scene, or was it fried chicken scene that people are finding really complicated.
Was I talking with you about that the other
I think
day?
you talked with me about that, yeah.
Someone was asking me about that.
I think it was you. I think we texted about this.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Where it was like, and what I love is what he texted me saying, "Oh my gosh, I liked Green Book."
That
That was the best text I got all
went
year.
in and I was like, I do not want to see this movie. It looked
Yeah.
whack. It's kind of heartwarming.
From
but
what I've heard, look at it as a movie, it's pretty decent.
Yeah,
Like but then when you look up and you take a little bit more time and look at it, you're like, ooh, there's some problems.
I mean,
with
it
this.
just feels like one of those like, oh, we solved racism in the 60s. You know?
Yeah, it's like this is the we get it type of movie. Like this is
You know,
what it is.
Octavia Spencer produced it.
Really? Mm-hmm. I did not know
Interesting.
that. That is interesting. There's some weird people behind the scenes of this movie. And another thing was, what was I gonna say? Oh man, what were you saying before? Hold on, it's coming. It's coming back. I'm snapping it into existence, like the Thanos snap. Am I right? Or out of existence. What were you saying before? Okay,
I don't know.
okay.
I say a lot.
Green
Bryan
Book,
Singer.
Bryan Singer, Green Book. The thing with
You were trying to
that.
say he was.
I forgot what
No,
it
I think
was.
we should get
But
off
like
that
that's
tangent.
the big issue where a lot of people are saying you're trying to move forward, but then you have these two movies, these big problems.
Yeah.
Like I know
That's why I think Black Klansman is a more realistic look at.
yeah,
modern
like that would
racism.
be the Academy saying we get it more than Green Book.
Yeah,
winning,
because
you
I
know what
mean, I actually saw an interview with Spike Lee where he was talking about if Green Book wins over him, he's going to be really mad because he said it
Yeah.
would be like do the right thing all over again when
Driving
driving
Miss Daisy.
Mhm.
His quote from the Driving Miss Daisy thing is
Yeah.
incredible.
I've been on
Driving
a
Miss
Spike Lee kick lately.
Daisy. I think that Green Book reminds me a little bit of The Blind Side, in the sense that when you looked behind the scenes of that movie and found out this kid wasn't Michael Orr, they portray him in that movie as being like completely like not inept and not like stupid, but just
like needs the white lady Sandra Bullock to help him.
Yeah,
I never saw that movie, and I love me some Sandy.
They portray it as if he couldn't do anything in school whatsoever in the movie. But then in real life, he was just like a C- student, which isn't like good or anything like that. But in the movie, it feels more like he didn't know how to do anything until Sandra Bullock came out. So that's a little bit like complicated and problematic in my opinion. But yeah.
Well, whatever. She got her award.
So let's go over our picks.
Okay, do it. Recap.
So, round 1.
Okay.
We went in order of Rob going order. Duh, it's just you and me.
Yeah.
Rob first went with A Star Is Born for Best Original Song
Which I
for
won't
Shallow,
sing again.
which is probably the biggest lock of the entire
I think
show.
so.
If it doesn't win, that'd be hilarious, by the way.
I'd be mad.
Just for sake of this game. Then I went with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for Best Animated Feature. Next, for round 2, you went with Roma for Best Cinematography.
Yup.
And then I went with Black Klansman. Kind of a reach, I think, on my part. For best Adapted Screenplay.
I don't know. I can
I
see
think
it happening.
I think there's a lot of other movies that people think are going to win. Like, I think If Beale Street.
No,
might be
yeah,
favorite.
actually, if Beale Street.
I think If Beale
I
Street.
didn't even think of that because the
Battle of
James
Buster
Baldwin
Scruggs just
writing
kind of
is
came
just
out.
good.
Battle of Buster Scruggs just kind of came out. And we
I
just
watched that
forgot,
on Netflix. It was
which was
alright.
interesting. I
Coen
forgot.
Brothers
I didn't
best.
know it was on Netflix until I started reading these things. I thought, oh, it's in the movies, right? And I was
I
like,
don't
oh,
think it's the
I can
Coen
just
Brothers
see it right
best,
now.
but it was fun enough.
Then for
Anthology.
round three, you took Glenn Close for Best Actress,
Mm-hmm.
and I took Roma for Best Director, Mr. Alfonso Cuarón.
Mm-hmm.
Round 4, you took Christian Bale from
Yup.
Vice for Best Actor, and I took
A little bit of a reach.
yeah. And now for some not lesser categories, but not the ones that get the most publicity, I would say. Production design, I took The Favorite.
Mm-hmm.
For round 5, for documentary feature, you took RBG,
Mm-hmm.
and then my pick was Green Book for Best Editing, for film editing.
Mm-hmm.
Not proud of the pick necessarily. I don't like the behind the scenes, but I think you can separate it.
We'll
so if
see.
it is going to win something, this is a category where I don't think people are going to be upset because of it not deserving that category. They're going to be upset because Green Book won. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the
think there's
editing was
distinction.
whatever. I don't really remember it being distinctive or anything special. But
Then-
that's okay.
Then the next round, for supporting actor,
Mm-hmm.
you took Richard E. Grant.
I did. Surprise.
And then in a shocking twist, because I love him so much in that movie, I took Bradley Cooper for Best Actor.
That is a shock.
I don't think that he's going to win, but he might. You never know. Maybe the people...
Since I didn't give him director, they might do it.
they might do that. That's my thinking. Then for the next round, you took Beale Street for original score,
Yep. Listen
And
to
then-
the score if you haven't. It's good.
and I took Roma for Best Picture,
Right.
which
I'm
is
mad about.
definitely the favorite.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we didn't take more Best Picture things. I think people will be shocked that there was only one pick that involved Best Picture.
Did I not say Black Panther at one point?
You did, but you thought about it. You didn't actually pick it. We were just saying that it would be really...
I was just pontificating.
It'd be fun. What do you think it's between right now for Best Picture? Roma and...
Not
Green
Green
Book?
No.
But
I
I'm
really
saying-
don't think Green Book has a chance.
You don't think so?
Uh-uh.
You think it's because of the backlash that's come out against it? It feels like
Yeah,
this
and I
year's...
just don't think it was that good.
It feels like 3 Billboards in a way. There's some backlash against 3 Billboards last year.
True. 3 Billboards. They were like, it's racist, but
Yeah, there's like some problems with that movie, which I kind
I
of
feel
agree
like
with.
it might be Roma and maybe A Star Is Born, but I don't think A Star Is Born should
No,
win.
I think it gets forgotten. Vice?
No,
No,
Vice really wasn't
no.
that good. It wasn't nearly as good as The Big Short.
Let me see. Yeah, I think maybe you're right. Maybe it is between Green Book.
Because
and
most
Black
people
Panther.
that I've
Not
talked
Green
to have
Book.
said The Star Is Born is their favorite of the year.
Yeah,
But
most
I don't
people
think
I've
the
talked to say
fourth iteration of a movie should be considered like the best picture of a modern age, you know?
It's a fair take. It's a fair take.
I think
Even if
so.
it's wrong, it's a fair
Well,
take.
I thought it was a fine film.
But and then for the last 3 rounds, just going over those real quick, you went for best foreign film,
Uh-huh.
and you picked Cold War.
Yeah.
Then just in case Christian Bale doesn't win, I took Rami Malek for best actor. There's no way like Willem Dafoe
No one saw
or
the,
Viggo Mortensen win. So I just decided I'm going to shore up the
definitely not
category.
Viggo.
So if it's not
How wild
if
would it
it's
be
not
if Willem
Christian
Dafoe
Bale,
won?
that'd be hilarious. Both of us just wasted 3 picks.
I
Cumulatively,
wouldn't
that'd
be mad.
great.
I like Willem Dafoe.
It'd be fun. Then the second last round, you took Regina King for Best Actress, which I honestly genuinely just forgot about the category for a second.
happens.
There's something over here that I just got distracted. For Best Actress, although I could see it doesn't feel like a lock, that one, as much as actress. Actress, I think, is just always a little bit weird.
This
Or
year
Best
they have-
Supporting Actress is always
I
weird.
feel like this year it's more like of a competition than some years. Because some years it's
Yeah.
just like, well, here it is. But
Who
this
was
year
it?
it's
Who was it last year? Oh, it was
Allison Janney. Oh, remember it was the mom from Lady Bird versus the mom from I, Tonya?
No, it wasn't for Best Actress. I mean,
Best Actress. Who won last year?
Frances McDormand. There we go.
Oh, there you
for,
go. Three
that
billboards.
one was kind of a lock.
Yeah,
I think
that made
actress
sense.
in a supporting role is always weird. That one I feel like is a little bit harder to predict.
Yeah,
A little bit. A little bit.
a little bit.
Who knows?
But I think Regina King's got it.
So you took in the 10th round Regina King, Best Actress, and then I took Mahershala Ali for Green Book for Best Supporting Actor. And then last round, you took Vice for Film Editing, and I took Infinity War for Best Visual Effects.
There you go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll probably put this on Instagram or something like that,
Yeah,
and
do
I'll just
something
let
with it.
people laugh as I destroy you and get all the points for these things.
Us.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, if
I'm
you do end
excited.
up coming to my Oscar party, you should fill in your ballot.
Oh,
And
I
burn
can't
it
wait, man. Oh, I'll definitely fill it out if I come over. I really
What?
like what you did with the
with your Kevin Hart tweets.
you put a Kevin Hart tweet and then the Kevin Hart free Oscars. And then
You're darn tootin'.
And then this is a great like little pamphlet for you to hand out. It's
I thought
great.
so.
It's really great.
I'm
It's
glad
really
you
clever. I
enjoy
like
it.
what you did. It's awesome. So, you have any final thoughts you want to talk
What
about?
are my final thoughts? I want to see how this starts. Like, what's going to happen at the beginning? Like, we're just
Oh, I
bringing
know,
people
right?
out?
I was thinking the other day, where do you think Kimmel randomly comes out?
Nah.
No, right?
I don't think so.
I just
He's
thought about
probably
this the
over
other
it.
day. Do you think no Kevin Hart doesn't show up, right?
If Kevin Hart shows up, I will be so mad, Javier. You don't even know.
I would love it just because I think it'd be hilarious. Just because he's
be
not
so
gonna, he's
mad.
going to be our host. No, he's not. Yeah, he still is. No, he's not. Okay, he's definitely out. Just kidding.
I would
it would be
lose my
really
mind.
funny if they did that.
You'd best hope they don't. I'll cause a
Yeah.
scene.
We got to talk about that off the air too.
Yeah.
The whole Kevin Hart thing. It's
A
weird.
mess.
I think that one of the things with this, and also I've got a piece coming out this week for the Montclarian, which I texted you
Ooh.
about. What I think that the Oscars can learn from the Game Awards of all places.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that.
I was texting you about it. I don't want to spoil the content of the article,
No.
but that'll be in the Montclarian this week, so people can
Lit.
check that out. I think it's been a while since I've written a piece, I think, for the student paper. I think that a lot of ways this Oscars will be better rating-wise than last year, just for the fact you've got
think so.
Star is Born, you've got Roma, which a lot of people probably saw. I mean, it's on Netflix. It's such a huge install base. A lot of
Yeah.
people probably saw it. That movie is
should.
secretly like a popular movie. I don't think if it's in theaters and
Yeah.
released randomly, it's the same thing. But everybody has Netflix, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, sure."
I
I'll
think
see
it was
this
a really
movie.
smart move to put it on Netflix because
Maybe they didn't watch all of it, but they definitely checked
I
it
should
out.
have watched all of it. I know after he won their Golden Globes, they were asking Cuarón about that, and he was like, "Well, what do you think?" He was like, they had said like, "Oh, do you think you're like killing movie theaters, basically?" And he was like, "This is a
That's-
black and white 2.5
that's what's
hour Spanish
interesting.
language movie. So if it came into theaters, like, do you think anybody would have seen it?"
That's my only counter to if it doesn't win Roma for Best Picture. Is that a Academy thing saying no, forget this? Movies are movies. We hate Netflix.
know.
I don't think they do
They're
that.
evolving. They're going younger.
If it wins, it does signify that there might be some changes going on
that's
with the movie
interesting.
industry. I'm curious to see how it does. If it doesn't win, I just don't know. I can't talk myself into like Black Panther winning. I can't see.
I could see it.
It would be great just because I'd love to see Twitter when that happens.
Yeah.
But I think the only bad thing that could win would be
Green Book
Green Book and
or Bohemian Rhapsody. I agree.
The only thing with Bohemian Rhapsody is at least it feels like that movie didn't insult people.
No, I mean,
People
perhaps
had
the
fun.
victims
People
of the
were
director.
like, no, you know what I mean. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. What I mean is this: just watching the movie taken in a vacuum, where people are like, "Yeah, I had fun. I
Yeah.
wanted to listen to Queen songs," and I think people would be kind of excited
I
about
did
that.
sing my way out of the movie theater when it was over.
Really? That's amazing. I did that a little bit after seeing This Is It, the Michael Jackson movie.
I never saw that. R.I.P.
I know, and that documentary that's coming out, the Never Leaving.
Oh yeah,
Neverland.
I just saw Ben Mankiewicz retweeted a
I heard
really
that.
interesting article
I heard
about
there's
it. I'm
some,
gonna have to
some
read
stuff.
it.
I heard there's some information that
don't
is
know.
very convincing.
Yeah, but I heard it's all very one-sided. But we'll see when
We'll see.
HBO releases it.
Yeah, should be interesting.
It should be.
But Rob, any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts? No.
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 Okay.
Don't have anything.
It was a blast having you.
Yeah,
on.
it's
I
always,
can't wait to put
always
this
a
up
pleasure.
and re-listen to me as I executed you.
Yeah,
in
put
this,
it up.
in
I'll
this
tweet.
draft.
I'll put it out on my social.
Yeah, it'll be great, man. It'll
Fire.
be great for sure.
Groovy.
But yeah, man.
All right, I
I'll
gotta
see
go
you
to
around.
work now. So
Yeah, you do.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. It's okay.
What? I can be French.
Yeah, I got you. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Pier 1, Mr. Robert O'Connor, coming in to do our Oscars draft. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been looking forward to this for a while. It was a lot of fun. And if you want to, did you want to say anything there? No, you're good.
It was fun.
It was fun. I put on the wrong mic, but whatever. Rob says it was fun. He enjoyed it very much. So yeah, guys, that's the Oscars draft. And I'm going to post all the results later just in case anybody missed it. And see as I won. Because the last draft I did, which was the superhero draft with my friends, I won that one too. Pretty seamless. It was easy. I drafted Chris Evans as Human Torch and as Captain America, so I solved the life equation with that one. That was great. But yeah, we're going to take a break now, and when we get back, He's been sitting here for a while. My apprentice DJ, Mr. Anthony Rios. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Doing good. Because he was a little bit late. Got stuck with. He had some
had a flat
commute
tire,
problems.
man.
Hey, it happens. You know what I mean? It's all good. I'm going to show him some things around the board, and when we get back, we're going to talk as much as we want about, or as much as he wants and I want about, All-Star Weekend in the NBA and just some of our thoughts on that, and the Colin Kaepernick situation, because there was some big news that dropped. So stay tuned for that, guys. Listen to 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair.
See you later.
And we're back, everybody, here on 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair. You were just listening to, hold on one second. Am I on right now? I should be on. What was that? That was weird. That was strange. Thank you, Nick. What did you press, man?
We had it on external one.
Okay, I see. So that I knew there was something happening. I couldn't hear myself. Anyway, 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, guys. Sorry for the extended break. I had to teach my apprentice DJ, who's now in the studio, or he's been in the studio, Mr. Anthony Rios.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
No problem, no problem. Just wanted to go over everything with him. Have the big teaching session, because that's kind of my job. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, I'm here too, by the way.
Yeah. He's like doing strange things over there. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, Anthony.
Yeah,
last
man.
week we talked about basketball.
Yes, we did.
A good sport, I would say.
Yeah.
This week was the All-Star Weekend.
Yes, it was.
And you said you wouldn't mind talking about it.
Yeah, for reasons everyone thinks, like, for example, everyone seemed to enjoy All-Star Weekend.
Oh man, here we go. Let's go.
I didn't enjoy it that much. Yes, the All-Star game is obviously going to be fun and exciting. I mean, lack of defense, nothing new there. But when it comes to what I look forward to every single calendar year is All-Star Saturday nights.
Skills challenge, the
3-point contest, and the slam dunk. And I just
Disappointing,
feel like 2016 was the last year that we actually had a good All-Star Saturday. Like, for example, man, like, yes, Joe Harris upsetting Steph Curry was amazing. It was a good moment. But people, to be honest, man, for like the past couple of years, the 3-point contest has been outshining everything else.
That's kind of crazy.
And I feel like the All-Star Saturday night should end with a bang, and that's the 3-point contest. I was so like not happy with the dunk contest. Yes, Hamidou Diallo's dunk over Shaq was extremely impressive. It showed the freak athlete that he is, and he cuffed it inside the basket.
Cool, yeah. I did see that.
And I just feel like what else happened that dunk contest? Like, remember back in the day? I mean, Aaron Gordon versus Zach LaVine.
Was that last year?
2016.
2016. Okay.
Who could ever forget that dunk contest?
That was a good one. Even I saw that one.
Yeah,
that was pretty wild. Back and forth. Just everyone's like, "What's going on? Is the dunk contest back? Is it back from the dead?" That was a great moment.
And then ever since then, it just it's dead again.
I have a take on the dunk contest.
Yeah.
I feel like there isn't much that can impress me anymore.
Yeah, they did everything.
I feel like bottom line is when I watch this stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's great. Like, these people are super athletic. The end. Like, it's really cool. Like, don't get me wrong, it's super impressive seeing these things. So for me, I wish the dunk contest would have a little more panache, a little more theatricality. What I mean by that is I want people to just go super extra. I want the Blake Griffin type of things. Not technically the most impressive dunk, but he brings out a car. He has his little cape. He has the choir saying, "I believe I can fly." I just like the extra random stuff like that I feel like not enough people do anymore.
So you like the props?
Yeah, I love props. I think that that's the most exciting thing because it's just fun to be like, oh, what are they going to do? And usually you don't get that. I know this year we had someone, who was the one?
Jumped over a plane.
He had the Superman thing underneath.
Oh, Hamidou, yeah.
That was
he
him.
jumped over Shaq.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's like a nice little mini thing. But I remember like when that was Dwight Howard's thing and he had the cape, and then Nate Robinson, when he upset him, he was Crypto Nate or whatever. Like, I like the WWE almost style of it that I feel like guys don't do anymore now. It's more about the dunk thing. And me, as someone who loves basketball, I just look at this and I'm like, it's cool, I guess, but also like it's just kind of fun when people do ridiculous things. Fast and Furious it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And I mean, who am I to say this? Because I'm a basketball player myself, but I can't do the things that these professionals do.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think the missing of the dunks is ruining the game as well, the contest as well.
Where they like try it
when they miss it like 3 times, and you're just like, oh, by the time he gets it, it's not going to mean anything.
Yeah. It's not the same as if you just went out there and just did it.
Yeah, man. Because you think about it, Gordon and LaVine. I'm gonna keep bringing this up because there would never be a dunk contest like that ever again. They hit every single dunk on their first attempt. To the point where you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next? Like, Dennis Smith Jr. missed the same dunk twice. To the point where I'm like, yo, the third time, I don't even want to see it.
Yeah, you're just kind of over it.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah,
you know.
I agree.
But the 3-point contest, and I'm not even gonna lie, I was kind of mad that Klay Thompson was not in it because remember 2016 too, we had Klay Thompson versus Steph Curry,
and then we had other ones like I think Lillard was in that one.
Yeah.
JJ Redick was in that one. That was like I remember that was the first year where it felt like people were like straight up, we are looking forward to the 3-point more than the dunk contest.
Yeah, man.
Where people realized this is much more interesting.
Yes.
Because I remember that year it was like really random guys that were doing the dunk contest. Everyone was like, Terrence Ross, all right, it's fine. But it's like what Terrence Ross is good at. And I think that that's one of my holdups with All-Star Week. I agree with you, though. All-Star Saturday isn't the same. The skills challenge thing had a nice little moment with who won again? Give me
Tatum.
a second. Tatum won with like the half-court
shot
over Trae Young. That was fun. I enjoy little things like that.
I enjoy the skills more than the dunk contest.
Yeah, the dunk contest, I think the problem is the hype is just it's up here, and we're slowly realizing it's just not the same anymore.
And then, I'm not even gonna lie. Like people say, like, "Oh, LeBron should do it," or
I was just about to ask about that.
Like for me, I don't care who's in it. You know,
Okay.
I don't. I'm not one of those people that like, "Oh, who's this?" Because I'm not gonna say I'm a basketball historian. 9 times out of 10, well, 10 times out of 10. Sorry for how cocky I come off. I'm gonna know the participants.
Right.
You know, and I don't care if they're superstars, bench players. I don't care if they're in the G League. If they are good at dunking the basketball, if they can wow me and have me surprised, then put them in it. I'm not one of those that I want LeBron in it. I want this in it. I want KD in the dunk. I want Ben Simmons in the dunk. I don't care about the superstar names. I want the people that are going to put on the show.
A purist.
Yes, I want people that are going to. That's why when I saw Hamidou Diallo in it, I saw John Collins in it, I'm like, okay, we're going to get something.
I think it's cool because then maybe they become names from that. Where it's like, I think most people know Zach LaVine from the dunk contest. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon to an extent. Where most people know them as that, and then they become stars for that. Nate Robinson, in a lot of ways, was for that. Except for that one. Was it when he was with Chicago that he just took over the one playoff series, right?
Yeah, against the Nets.
Yeah. That was insane.
That was insane.
I remember when that happened. He was dropping like 30 a game. Everyone's like, what's going on?
That
This is
playoff
crazy.
series was special, man.
And
yeah, I remember because Rose got hurt.
Yeah. I think that the big issue that I've had is I'd rather, like, I don't always care about the name. I'd rather just see more creativity with some of the dunks.
Yeah.
But I also think part of the creativity might be if you have stars, there's more of a brand. Like, imagine if LeBron, like, wheeled out, like, on a throne. You know what I mean? Like, before he did his dunk, they had, like, people, like, carrying, he was on his throne. He was, like, all slumped in the chair. And then he took a champagne bottle. They probably wouldn't let you do that. But then he just gets off. He takes off his crown. He does, like, people would love that, I think. I remember one year, my dream, I forgot what, I think it, when was the All-Star game in, was it in Miami one year?
You mean, nah.
When he was there, has it ever been with, like, Cleveland?
No.
No, right? No. All right, I'm trying to think.
There was, like, New York. There was
I don't remember.
New Orleans.
Okay. Yeah, New Orleans was in there. I think that what would have been, I remember one year I actually thought, like, this might happen where when the talks of why isn't LeBron in the dunk contest were really heating up, I thought he would, like, be the mysterious, like, they wouldn't say that he was in it. And that like, after the participants went, then the lights would go out. The lights would turn off, and then they would go on, and then the fire starts coming up, and then he emerges, and then they're like, "Oh no,
it's LeBron!"
See what I mean? Like, he's actually I just really feel like that would be so much fun. I would really enjoy that. Is he ever gonna do it? No. Right?
No,
at this point, no, right?
No. But like,
I wish he did though.
But also, like you make a great point when you say like, oh, some of these players who do it, they get their names out there. That's the best part. They're gonna want to be remembered. Hamidou Diallo's dunk is gonna go down as like one of the best.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, people will remember, make them superstars that way.
Yeah,
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think sometimes we do get some duds, like the Dennis Smiths or whatever, that just are kind of, they are players in the NBA, but you're just kind of, you want them to do a little bit more. You know what I mean? That doesn't always happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not gonna sit here and complain that like, oh yeah, it's going downhill. I'm not gonna watch it next year. I'm gonna tune in exactly at 8:00 p.m. on Saturday, whatever that All-Star weekend is. I'm gonna continue watching. I'm not one of those that are gonna keep complaining and just like.
That's fair.
You know, people say, "Oh, you complain, don't watch."
Yeah.
It's just.
It's like me with the Oscars, where I complain about them literally nonstop.
Yeah.
As you started with me and Rob every single. But I watch them every year because I'm hoping that one year they'll be exceptional.
It's just. I think you could put a small part, like a blame, on Levine and Gordon themselves. They didn't have to go. They went all out like that, and we expected to see that every single year that followed.
They set it up.
They set the tone.
They set up the tone. Yeah,
It's been
That's
three.
fair.
It's been 3 years since, and we haven't got anything that came even close, or even like halfway there.
Yeah, for sure.
Think about it. You know who won the dunk contest the year after Levine and Gordon?
No.
Glenn Robinson III.
Oh wow, that's right.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, that did happen. That was a thing.
And don't get me wrong, I love Donovan Mitchell, but last year's dunk contest was not even that good.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Donovan Mitchell. I think that one was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Who was it? Mitchell? Was Simmons in it
Mitchell?
last
No,
year?
no, it was Mitchell, Dennis Smith.
Right.
Damn, that's what really all I remember.
Yeah, I think that was it. But yeah, did you watch any of the Celebrity Game or the Rising Stars?
Yes, I did. Yes,
I watched. I didn't get to watch the Celebrity Game, but I heard they made this insane comeback.
Yeah.
And then I saw that Ray Allen was playing for one of the teams, so I'm like, oh, I bet that might be why.
Ray Allen was balling.
I haven't seen the game yet, but I have a feeling he's not that far removed. These guys, when they're retired, are still better than most people out there, so that's just a thing to keep in mind. It's like whoever has the WNBA players or the NBA players, like that's it, that's just it. Or except, do you remember that one year when it was, like the Secretary of Education?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Arnie Duncan. Oh my God, that guy was a bucket.
He was destroyed.
That
and
guy
everybody
was a
was
bucket.
like, because I remember I listened to an interview for whoever was, I think Bill Simmons was like the coach of that team, and he was like, I knew, like I heard some rumors that like he played ball and like all the time, and like he was good, and I should have taken him, and he was just going off. I enjoy the Celebrity Game.
No, I do, but like
I just don't think they always have enough like banging
well-known
singers.
names.
Like Kevin Hart was in there
Kevin
for
Hart
like
was
3
amazing.
straight years,
But he was amazing in
fun.
his role.
He got a little bit too much, where it was like, all right, we get it, like. All right, like we know what you're doing. Like, okay, come on. But also, it's still fun seeing him in the All-Star game. Michael B. Jordan was in there that one year.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. It's just, it feels like, but that's pre-Black Panther and Creed. Michael B. Jordan, not quite the same level of celebrity as he is now.
Yeah.
I just wish that they would have a few more people in it. It's still fun. And
So
I
who
still
would you
enjoy
like to
it.
see in it?
I would enjoy seeing some basketball writers in it. Like Zach Lowe.
Put Zach Lowe in.
Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, I want
Put
to
like
see.
people that are somewhat part of the media and make them in the All-Star game. I know they do like have coaches and stuff.
I would
like
love
that.
to see Shannon Sharp on the court.
Yeah, it's just I feel like it'd be funny, and maybe get some random ones. I think was it Quavo that was in it last year?
And this year too.
He was in it this year too. Okay, like I said, I didn't get to watch it. I just feel like as many ridiculous celebrities as possible, and then you have the fun ones like Ernie Duncan who just goes off, and he's like really good at basketball. Find people who are good at basketball too, but also I think the fun part is the celebrity thing.
Yeah,
And
like I
think
wouldn't
that
mind
would
seeing
be great.
Odell Beckham Jr. in it one year.
That'd be super fun. He might be nasty at basketball. Like any athlete by default has the ability to be. You should just expect they might be good if they're at this level. They might be good at these other sports.
Exactly. I know one person we won't be seeing on the Celebrity Game anytime soon.
Who's that?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah.
The Chiefs, and part of his contract, apparently he cannot play basketball at all. Like what?
I mean, he should have put it out there though. I don't know what he was thinking. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, would you think that? Oh yeah, sure, whatever. You do whatever you want. No, they're gonna make you can't play, and it happens. You know what I mean? That happens. So, and with the All-Star game, my other thing, I only got to see parts of it. I saw some of the comeback at the end. I saw Dirk make like 3 straight threes.
It was
That
amazing.
was fun. That was
It
fun.
was amazing, and they
I
weren't
enjoyed
regular
that.
threes, man. They were
Very
far.
deep threes. Who won the MVP again?
Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah, that was right. That just happened.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I guess he just
He only
happened.
scored 31, but he was a part of the comeback. So
That was cool. But yeah, that's basically my thing with with All-Star Weekend. It's fine. It's the best out of the major sports, I think. That's fair.
oh,
to say.
definitely. I think
There's so much stuff that even
Yeah.
if you don't like one thing, you might have something else to
I'm still a
quench
strong.
your taste.
I'm still a strong advocate on starting a petition to get the Pro Bowl like removed.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl is just, it should be like an All-NBA first team thing, where instead of just be like, these are the All-Pro. Like they do that already with All-Pro. That's what the Pro Bowl should be, and that's it. Just what? Not only that, but the NFL treats its players like, really poorly. Why in the world do they have any incentive to try during that game whatsoever? I remember watching sometime. It was like like puppy bowl, or what was that, Air Bud like football. I was like, this is mumbled. Nobody's trying, and I put no blame on them for not trying.
And I don't get
Give them guaranteed contracts, then we can talk about the Pro Bowl.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Then we
Yeah.
can start talking about. But I remember, I think, did someone get hurt in the Pro Bowl this year? I feel like someone did. Keenan Allen got hurt, I think, a little bit. My guy.
No, really?
Not like something serious, but he
Oh,
did
but
get a little bit like, like a strained calf. I don't know.
Wow.
But like, you just look at that and I'm like, yeah, give them the guaranteed contracts, then we can talk about the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
What are we doing? You guys
And-
make too much money.
And
for
don't
this.
get me wrong, NBA players don't really try either. But I'm telling you, when it comes down to that fourth quarter stretch,
Yeah,
that's
they
when they
do.
start.
They
They
do.
really want to win.
But at
You know?
least their excuse isn't we're treated poorly. Their excuse is like, hey, we're literally in the middle of the season. I don't want to get hurt and mess up our team. So if anything, it's being like not like the opposite of selfish. So that's really cool. But yeah, we just touched on the NFL. And I know that some big news came out this past week. I think it was Friday, Thursday, maybe, I don't know. That Colin Kaepernick and the NFL, this whole thing. Speaking of the NFL treating its players poorly, that they reached a settlement for an undisclosed amount and the non-disclosure agreement and whatnot. What, just to start this off, I don't even know where to start this off. I mean, Colin Kaepernick is a topic that it's just so much now. Yeah. You can't talk about one thing. You can't even talk about kneeling. You can't even talk about that thing because there's so many other sides to the story. There's the blackballing allegations. There's the side of Trump. President Donald Trump has been involved in this, and because of the whole like him attacking the players and then all of them doing this and Jerry Jones being part of this and the Arizona Cardinals tweeting out their support for a Supreme Court nominee despite the fact that Roger Goodell says they want to keep all politics out of sports, whatever. But that's like a whole thing, you know what I mean, where that's when I thought that there was something fishy going on personally. I'm in support of most of what Colin Kaepernick has done and his basic thing. There are some things that I really don't like that he did that have nothing to do with the kneeling, but I think that there's no doubt that this guy is a hot topic and it is everywhere. It's being discussed in every class, in our classes, you know what I mean? It gets brought up. Like, it is a big thing with social issues and athletes speaking out, and I know LeBron just recently like gave his support for Colin Kaepernick and all that stuff. What is some of your thoughts on this whole situation?
For me, personally, because when Kaepernick was playing in the league, I was totally all for what he was doing, sending a message, getting his point across without even saying a word, Right. Letting his, I don't want to sound cliche as possible, but letting his actions speak louder than his words, But for all this to actually, like, go down, I'm not sure. But first of all, what pisses me off the most is the rumored teams that are going to be.
Don't think you can say that. That's fine, though.
Wait, what?
I don't think you say blank me off what you just said. Like, okay. I don't think you, that's like, I forgot to tell you there are some words that you can't necessarily say on air, but yeah, don't worry about it.
Do you know what really got me mad?
What got you mad?
I'm not sure if this was a fake article or a real article. The teams that are already interested in him. One
after this agreement thing?
Yes.
Right. Yeah,
one being the Panthers, which I don't mind, and the Patriots.
Here's my thing. There's a couple other things about this. One is that NFL teams were clearly already interested in Colin Kaepernick before this thing happened because Pro Football Talk, I believe, released something around last year where it literally showed that there's not a problem that you didn't sign him. The problem is that you were like, it's only football reasons, but then they received documentation of them showing that he was top on your your depth chart, like who you wanted to sign. So clearly, like, that is a lie. Like, you're not telling the truth of that. That's my problem with this. This could have been settled so fast.
Yeah.
If this was the NBA, they would have been like, oh, whatever. And if you want to be like nefarious about it, the NFL, what they should have done, just put him on a team, have him try out, and be like, you know what, this isn't going the wrong way. They don't. You're not even like trying.
You have to realize how many teams will think that they're looking like they're being looked at as like a bad team, or they don't want to get that negative pitch, like, image, because they felt like, oh, if we sign Kaepernick, others are going to look at us like we don't belong. Because remember, at one point, the Cincinnati Bengals were like really looking.
Yeah, the Bengals were in there. The Ravens were in there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of teams that were in there at one point or the other, and then they were like, "Oh no, never mind. We're gonna sign not Case Keenum. What's his name?
Oh, Nate Peterman.
Nate Peterman. That was a bombshell announcement. Or we're gonna sign Brandon Whedon, who has literally never played a good NFL game in his life, and that's, I think, the biggest thing here. If you just signed him, people will forget and not care. And that's what, if you really cared about this thing so much.
Yeah, exactly.
My take: sign him.
And if
make him the backup.
And if money is all that, right?
And then you can mysteriously be like, you know what, he's just not on the team anymore. That's fine. Just make him the backup somewhere. But I'm surprised that the NFL didn't just go, hey, can one of you guys just take the hit? Just have this guy. We don't want to deal with this. Instead, they did, we're not going to let him try out. Instead, Brandon Whedon's on a team, and we're going to keep pretending that this has to do with football. That's my biggest problem with Colin Kaepernick. The whole issue, hey, I get it. I've heard decent arguments from people who don't like the kneeling. I've heard great and decent arguments from people who appreciate it. I understand that. I'm not even talking about that part. I'm just talking about the borderline just stupidity of the NFL and how they handled the situation. Yeah. And clearly something kind of might have happened. We don't know what it is, but
for such a money-hungry league, right?
Yeah.
You don't think signing Kaepernick to your team will be box office in a way?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have to go see Kaepernick. This is going to be his first game back since
Look what Nike did.
Yeah, the Nike ad was definitely a step further in the right direction, but
Did you see the report about the guy who refused to sell Nike things after that?
No.
And that his thing closed down or whatever. Hey, we have another friend in the studio here. If you want to talk, because it looks like he's raring to go. No, you're not raring to go.
I'm here. I can go, but
What's your name again?
Syed
What's your last name?
Muhammad.
Syed Muhammad. Okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So, if you don't want to talk, that's fine.
No, I could talk.
All
So
right.
it's
It's-
fine
hey,
with me.
'cause
I like listening
I
too.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, I didn't want to impose. Like I just came in. I was here a little late. You guys were already in the conversation, so I was like, you know what? Let me
I
just
get it.
listen and be
I get
polite. You know.
No problem, man. No problem. But I think, what was I saying? And that was really funny where this store, he said that he wasn't going to sell Nike stuff anymore, which, okay. And then they closed down. He just declared for bankruptcy last week. So, like I said, I'm personally in support of a lot of what Colin Kaepernick has said. I think that bottom line is a protest. And also, guys, if you don't like it, just ignore it. Like, I don't understand what, some
Like the
people's
guy
problems
has
with
that
these
much
things.
of an impact, and he's not even in the league.
And it's just be like, hey, I don't like this, and the end. You know what I mean? It's like the Le'Veon Bell thing to this extent where Ben Roethlisberger came out and was like, yeah, the Le'Veon Bell thing was distracting. I'm like, dude, that happened like week 4. Like, what are you doing? At some point, it's your fault if you're not playing well.
Yeah, like week
He's
12.
not there.
Week 12, you should not be thinking about Le'Veon Bell at this point.
Yeah, he's
you
not
know?
there. He's not saying anything. He's saying stuff on Twitter. I guess,
Everyone
but,
needs
like,
a scapegoat. That's what it is.
that's what it is. And I think that with the Kaepernick situation, I compare it a lot. Like, if this was the NBA, I really feel like they would have handled it better. And I think that also, just objectively speaking, Colin Kaepernick's fine at football. I think I'll take the guy who went to a Super Bowl, I think, maybe, instead of Kellen Clemens or Geno Smith. My team is
Preach.
the Chargers are
Preach.
they're not innocent to this either. Geno Smith or Matt Barkley or Josh, who was the guy for Washington?
Josh Johnson.
who
Josh
hadn't
Johnson.
played in 5 years. Not only that, but the Washington was actually kind of in a playoff
Yeah.
hunt. So my thing is like,
Oh no,
I don't understand what
please.
we're doing anymore. Like,
It's
what are
alright.
we doing?
I agree.
We all,
go ahead.
Syed and I always say this. It's the fact that Colin Kaepernick does not have a job and Nate Peterman does.
But we were arguing with our friends the other day. We have a group chat going, and we were arguing. And I was like sticking up for Colin. I was like, listen, I think he could play for 4 or 5 different teams.
Play for
Like,
the Jaguars, honestly.
He could, like, off the
Definitely.
top of my head, if you wanted someone that come in, because he's clearly not a franchise quarterback anymore. He's 31 years old. You're not going to build a franchise around him. But if you had, like last year, you had the Bills, the Cardinals, and like even the Jets. I mean, Darnold, I like out of the most out of all 3 of those rookie quarterbacks.
They have an excuse though, because
Yeah.
they're like, hey, we have a rookie. and
Yeah,
we're trying
but
to
the
bring him
thing
along.
is, like, if you wanted your rookie to develop, right?
Yeah.
I think Colin Kaepernick would have been a great quarterback to bring in for at least a year rental.
yeah, if you want to have a year rental thing.
Exactly.
But how would you look at that? As
Jacksonville could have him, Miami could have him,
Right?
Buffalo could have him. Let me think of other teams. Giants might be able to have
You
him.
think Denver would have been better off with him
Denver
instead of
could
Case
have
Keenum?
him. Denver could
Like-
have him. They're hilarious, by the way, that they traded for Joe Flacco.
Oh, Joe Flacco.
Come on.
Hilarious.
Hey,
I love
hey,
it.
come
I'm all in.
on.
Let's go. This
Hey,
is great.
I'm a
Are you a
Chargers
Joe
fan.
Flacco supporter right now?
I
Ant?
actually like the trade for Denver.
Oh yeah, no.
Joe Flacco is a former Super Bowl MVP.
So, have you watched him play?
So is Eli Manning. You taking Eli Manning?
And have I watched him on Baltimore?
Yeah.
Who's their best receiver? Tony Snead.
He lost his job to Lamar Jackson,
yeah, but
bro.
like at some point,
He didn't lose his job to Lamar
He
Jackson.
lost his job to Lamar Jackson.
He did not
bro.
lose his job to Lamar Jackson. It's just
Come on.
they wanted to experiment and
Come
it
on.
ended up working.
Joe Flacco is just.
I don't think
E-
Flacco's
Eli's a
good.
two-time
I don't think
Super Bowl
Flacco's
MVP.
good, but I wouldn't mind having Flacco on the bench while Lamar Jackson is actually going. Listen, at the end of the day, who throws the ball? Flacco. Lamar Jackson is a running back playing quarterback position.
Yes.
Nah, bro, it's too
No.
early. It's too early. I
No, I
No,
agree with
come
Ant
on,
on that.
No,
He did
listen,
alright against the Chargers,
I'm not saying
especially when he
Flacco
threw.
should have started over Lamar. I'm saying that's a good person to have on the bench with you.
Yeah, but they're not putting him on the bench. They're starting Case Keenum over him. No, he's starting.
No, I'm talking about in Baltimore.
I know, but I'm saying right now you like to trade for Denver, but he's gonna start for them.
Yeah.
So is he the one to take him over the top?
Who knows?
No, nobody's saying that.
Do you know who they just signed as a head coach?
And I forgot his name.
I forgot his name too, but
Yeah.
I know. I think he was the defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears.
I understand that, but that
last year.
defense has always been good. You have Von Miller and Bradley Chubb.
Now
They're
you
gonna
have
be good.
Now you have one of the best defensive coaches in the league.
Yeah, but that doesn't help his offense.
I know.
It doesn't help Flacco.
This is good. I like this back and forth. This is
I
great.
mean, it
All
doesn't
right,
help.
Eli Manning's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. You taking him?
Eli Manning should not be a 2-time Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, and Flacco should have been a Super Bowl MVP that year.
He did come back and win.
no, he should have because he was
He was
ridiculous.
balling out.
That
But
run
everyone
was
knows.
ridiculous.
Everyone knows.
And every
playoff
Giants,
Flacco,
every
playoff
Giants
Flacco is
Super Bowl
different.
run, playoff Eli is
No,
different.
no. Playoff Eli.
It's
It
playoff Eli.
consists of one lucky pass, whether it's to Mario Manningham.
Semantics here.
No, it's
okay.
the truth.
So if the lights didn't go out in that Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, he would have lost.
Who knows?
All right,
Oh,
then.
that's a great what if.
There you go.
That's one of the great what ifs.
There you go.
in history.
Giant fans totally forget this.
What?
Right before, what's his name? David Tyree's catch, the helmet catch. Right? Asante Samuel dropped the easiest interception of his career.
Whose fault is that?
Which would have solidified.
Whose fault? Is that Eli's or Asante Samuel's?
No, that's just capitalizing on a mistake.
Oh, and that's what he did.
So it took a dropped interception
But-
for you guys to win a Super
So you're
Bowl.
saying
Yo,
Flacco's a good pickup because he's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yo,
but
I
Eli
rewatched
wouldn't
that
be a
play
good
the
pickup
other
'cause he's
day.
a
Would
two-time
you
Super
rather
Bowl
Flacco or Keenum?
MVP. Oh, Flacco. Good.
All right then.
All right, but would you
Simple,
rather
but
Eli Keenum?
It's
I'd
boring.
rather my left toe over
Oh
Eli.
my
You
God.
kidding me?
Oh my God! Typical Colts.
Anyways, I think there are a lot of teams that could just like Colin Kaepernick. That was great. That was a great tangent. I think that there are a lot. It's just like if you're gonna like try and blackball somebody, which I know it's an allegation, whatever. You guys, they're blackballing.
Come on.
Like at least try. Josh Johnson, Mark Sanchez, my beloved Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
Hispanic power.
Mark
baby.
Sanchez would be picked up. Come on.
It's just like you're not even trying, bro. Like, what are you doing?
No.
I really think. Hey, bottom line is this: everyone says, "Oh, he was terrible at this." I'm like, okay, so he lost his coach. He lost Vernon Davis. He lost Torrey Smith. Maybe I forgot. He lost Anquan Boldin. He lost Justin Smith. He lost Navarro Bowman for the year. He lost Patrick Willis, who just randomly retired. A few other defensive players. He lost Michael Crabtree. And then he also lost his head coach.
Wait, who?
So Colin Kaepernick, like the Niners when they were
okay.
good.
Oh, yeah.
So now
Thank
they're
you.
bad. Oh, but so it's all him. I don't think people realize like the Niners literally had like 17,000 players retire. A lot of them get traded, and their coach left.
And he didn't even
And it's
have
not
a
like
bad
he was.
last year.
And I think what happened is it's not like Kaepernick was super ready, super what's the word? Like super solidified or anything like that. Like I don't think he was fully ready. Like maybe if he was developed a little longer, then he could maybe take control of the team a little bit more. But like he was still kind of a young quarterback at the time. For lose all those options, I think it's too much.
He didn't even have a bad last season. If people
Yeah, it's
people always
whatever.
forget his stats were not that bad. He was completing like 70% of his passes in his last year.
it's like-
it was not like he was going like horrible.
Bottom line is, I think that football-wise, yeah, he should have been on a team. But that's
He was black.
So how you feel about that demand that if the AAF wanted to sign him, he wanted $20 million?
get as much money as you can, I guess.
No,
but
I feel like
don't
because
know.
remember AAF just started. It's not even worth $20 million. I
That
feel like
league
that
would've
was
went
just.
bankrupt.
I feel like that was just a joke because he knows that they will not be able to give him that money. You know.
Maybe.
I think
It
he's
could
still
be.
hell bent on going to the NFL for some reason. If I was Colin Kaepernick, I would never step foot on an NFL field ever again after all they've done to me.
Yeah,
I
we'll
would
see.
never step foot on an NFL field.
But yeah, guys,
It's pathetic, man.
as we wind down the show, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That is it for today's really stacked episode, or edition, I should say, of the Digital Dash. Remember that you can always tune into the show every Monday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair or the iHeartRadio app. Hold on 1 second. Let me get my song ready. I forgot that I didn't get my song ready. Where is it? Bam. There it is. This is a winner right here. And as always, to close things out, it's Separate Ways. It's Journey, I should say, with Separate Ways, Worlds Apart. Remember, everyone, never accept the world for what it appears to be. Dare to see it for what it could be. I'm Javier Reyes, and hope all of you have a terrific night. See you around.
I gotta fucking.